What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Trigger Mike Show on the Lapeef Network. Thank y'all for stopping through, man. It's going to be a great day. Thank y'all for coming through on Tuesday, April 25th, 2023. Every time I look at this date, I can't believe it's the date that it is. Like this year, it was just January. Like, what the hell's going on? But welcome to everybody in the chat. I see y'all in here. I appreciate y'all for stopping through. We're here with another banger for you. This is a continuation from yesterday. So if you didn't see, for those of you that I got in the chat right now, I need ladies to come up. I need ladies to come up on the chat today because we finished this one out yesterday with a bang. But I also got a little bit of a monologue. We're gonna do the other two P's today since that was requested. Even though this was called the meaning of protect and provide, there are two other P's that we want to talk about on this broadcast this morning. So I want to, it's almost afternoon. For those of y'all on the West Coast, it's still the morning, and on Mountain Time. But shout out to everybody, man. All of our viewers on the East Coast, on the West Coast, in the South, Southwest, Texas area, the Midwest, up North. What's going on, man? What is going on? Salute to everybody. It's a good day. I don't know. The Mondays, like people say Monday doesn't suck. You just need to change your mindset. Mondays suck. Mondays do suck. Mondays suck because it's the realization that I didn't have a good weekend, that I spent Sunday preparing for Monday. All right. Mondays do suck. I hate people that talk. I hate people that talk and meme talk. Does anybody know anybody like that? That when they talk, it's like they got that shit off of a meme. Mondays don't suck. You need to change your mindset. Mondays do suck. It does suck. It does suck. Coming off of a weekend. You know why Monday sucks? Because the day I don't have to go to work on a Monday, the day it's a 3-day weekend, oh, I'm so damn happy on that Monday. A Monday does suck. It's a realization. Playtime's over. Back to work. Most of y'all work 5, rest 1. We don't even really rest, do we? I got young kids. Soccer on Saturday. Chores. Program activities. Family whatever day over here. Such and such birthday party over there. These people want to meet. We haven't seen our friends in a while. Let's drive over here to the other side of town for Sunday dinner. Weekends of work. We working damn near 7 days a week. But I know y'all know. My viewers on the Trigger Mike Show know how I feel. But what's going on with y'all? Yeah, unless it's a 3-day weekend. That's right, Trey. That is right. For those of y'all just coming in, make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Like and subscribe. I'm going to start turning my chair this way. See how I look. But those of y'all, man, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe to the chat. To the Lapeef Network, rather. All right. We got 20 likes. That's cool. That's cool. Got about half right now as we getting up. My man AP coming with the BS. Nah, Monday is an opportunity to make another day great. You see what I'm talking about? Do you see what I'm talking about? Make each day better than the previous day. Meme talk. This is meme talk. It's not reality. Mondays suck. If I went and looked at my productivity, because you know they're about to be able, AI is about to do that to your ass. They about to be logging your computer strokes and stuff. If I look at my productivity, it is probably down on Monday and Friday. I can tell you without even looking at a computer or any kind of analysis. People done working after 12 pretty much every day. If I call anybody at the VA, if I need something done, man, call after 12. You not getting that person. You're not getting what you need done. You got to call them early. 7, 8 a.m. You got to call people early to get the best out of them. After they had their coffee, maybe 8:30. Maybe 8:30. But shout out to everybody, man. Make sure you like, subscribe. Also share this stream. Share this stream out. Share this stream out to anybody that may be listening. And let them know. Let them know what you're watching today. All right. Come on over to the Trigger Mike Show. I would also like to give a shout out to the sponsor, Tej Hanley. All right. Get 30% off your first box plus a free gift. Feel the Tej. The link is in the description. Go ahead and click that if you want some excellent skincare products. I'm kind of big on skincare now. You know that I grew the beard and everything. When I was in the service, I had a boy, I didn't listen. If you black shaving that much, and good luck, because that's about to be the most bumpiest you've ever been in your life. Then I started using the outliner to do it, but then my skin felt all raw. Yo, it's shaving for a black dude is hell. It's hell. But that Tish Hanley will get that'll get you squared away. So make sure y'all go ahead and order that. Link is in the description if you would like to do so. And if you would like to support the Trigger Mike Show, you can do so via form of super chat. We always appreciate the super chats, and those will be read aloud. All right. This is one of those topics. It got kind of heated yesterday. I'm not going to lie. A lot of people talking over each other. I'm going to do better in wrangling the people, but it's also a mic thing. I'm yelling, but can't nobody hear me. When I watch the replay over in some of those key parts, I'm like, what the hell? So I'm going to have to start muting mics. I thought I was coming across, but maybe the sound on StreamYard doesn't want to boost me over everybody else because maybe their volume is up. In fact, I'm going to turn my volume up. Maybe that'll help. But yeah, man, if you want to send a super chat, we will read those aloud. We always appreciate your monetary contributions, anything you can do. But go ahead and hit that like button. That is free. And if you would like to support the show, if you're watching the broadcast after it is live, you can do so in the form of super thanks after the broadcast is over. We always appreciate your support. Let's see what we got in the chat today. Dale Matthew, appreciate that. Always coming through. Ashton Weems, what's going on, bro? Badass, what's up? What's up? My man Hink is in the building. Edward Gilbert, what's going on? Final countdowns, trying to troll today. Happy wife, happy life. We debunked that. We don't say that on the Trigger Mike Show. We don't say that. That statement is anti-family. Prove me wrong. Anything in today's society that focuses on the woman destroys the family. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Anything that focuses on the woman destroys the family. Women aren't safe when they are focused on. Can't make a woman happy that way, bro. Prove me wrong, though. Prove me wrong. Anissa Glass, how you doing? You here ready to listen. I appreciate you. Ogundele Odogbo. Okay. What's up, Chief? Iron Addict, what's going on? Up with BM, my man Trey. AP trolling us. True Table, what's going on? All right, man. We here, yo. We here. We here. Protect and Provide Part 2. We're going to get to these other two P's right now. Let's get to these other two P's, all right? Protect, provide, procreate, problem solve. So we talked about protection and provision yesterday, which was that was an excellent topic. I really love what the panel had to say. I love what they added to the topic. That was a dope discussion. I think that was one of the best ones. I listened to my monologue over. It's weird doing that. Sometimes you don't hear how you sound coming across, but no, I think I got my point across. Everything I think I wanted to say, I said. All right. We have to teach. We got to teach lessons to these young people about what it means. They are taking this whole, it's not even about just marriage, relationships in general. Relationships in general are essential for life. You have to know how to engage with them correctly. Our people got bad reactions to everything. That's why they can't stay in relationships. That's why they can't have positive interpersonal relationships with other people. Our women don't keep friends that long. That shit is deplorable. I don't think if y'all hear me, but I've been paying attention to this from youth. Our women don't keep friends that long, which means they are terrible at maintaining interpersonal relationships. Bad teaching, bad habits, bad upbringing. It has a cost. It is weighing down the overall outlook and viability of our ethnic group. They don't understand the basics. You got to understand what it means for a man to protect. You got to understand what it means for a man to provide. Ladies, you got to understand what it means, how you fit into that whole equation. So we're going to get these other two P's going. Mr. Rich brought it up. It was pretty dope. So we're going to get into the other two P's, which are procreate and problem solve. I'm going to be a bit long-winded on the procreate one because I think a lot of women are going to say, and then you have a lot of narratives today. You got a lot of narratives in this day and age where people are saying, I don't need a man to procreate, or he's a sperm donor. I don't subscribe to that at all. I don't subscribe to that at all. If you're a woman that ever said a such thing out of your mouth, shame on you. Shame on you. Men are not just sperm donors. And I'm going to give y'all some hard truths today, as we like to do. As we like to do on this show and on this network, we're going to give y'all hard truths. I've realized recently that you're not going to grow as fast as everybody else. All these networks, there's 1,001 YouTube networks pandering to women and doing all this stuff. They grow extremely fast. I've seen it on the white YouTube and other people doing. I've seen it, how fast you can grow doing that shit. We're not doing that shit over here. Interestingly enough, we get quality. You can get numbers, right? It's called quality, not quantity. You can get numbers pandering to women. But let me tell you something. Those type of women that love that type of talk all the time are the worst fans to have. They will turn on you quick. Say one thing that upsets them. They'll get your whole channel taken down. When you start to come to your senses and you realize you've hit the peak, the pinnacle of what you need to say or what you're trying to say, and you're not gaining no more subscribers, then you want to come back over to the dark side and start talking real shit and see how fast they turn on your ass. The Lapeef Network has quality subscribers. We talk about the hard topics. Only if the conversation is uncomfortable can there be progress. Growth hurts. What happens when a baby is teething? They get a fever. Growth hurts. It's not comfortable, but we got to talk about it. This topic of procreation is one women need to listen to. So again, young men, this is about your respect. I'm trying to bolster. I'm trying to give you some fortitude about yourself. But ladies, I'm also trying to give you some education, and y'all need to listen up. This is an extremely important topic to cover. Men do provide women with the necessary element for procreation. You ain't making that baby by yourself. In fact, I'm going to hit this from an angle that most people are afraid to take. Ladies, in fact, no, I'm going to talk to men. No, I'm going to talk to the ladies. I'm going to say it both ways. Fuck it. That woman, fellas, is having your children. She is having your children. Ladies, you are having his baby. And I don't even want to debate this because you already know it. You already know it. People are afraid to take that stance. You already know it. That's the way it's supposed to work. You already know those children are supposed to take his name. You know that. Deep, deep down inside, you know that. We're going there today. All right. He said, hey, Pete said he got the office door open. All right. Safe for work mode. Safe for work. But you already know. Do you know how I know this? When you watch Black Love, when you watch certain things where the women are a lot more feminine, and they're talking about the issues they had with conception. And you even have some women that are infertile and how that affects them. They all say one thing. They all say the one thing about their experience with that. Women have been saying it probably since the beginning of time. I wish I could give who children? Who? They don't say I wish I could give myself children. They don't say wish I could give the world children. They don't say I wish I could give my parents grandchildren. They say I wish I could give him children. Those are his children. Deep down inside of every woman, on a cellular level, it's a deeply embedded source code telling you that you must birth children for that man. That's why y'all all on YouTube crying, complaining. Many of you are upset talking about the baby's daddies that you gave your body up to because you realize you birthed children for the wrong man. But I'm not going to go there yet. This is how the baby mama crisis started. This is how the baby mama crisis started. This is how all the complaining on YouTube started. How many baby mamas do we have parading themselves around as upstanding women who are basically saying, I've been a hoe in the past, but I'm trying to do good now? You gave the wrong man children. Now you upset. You're trying to replace that person in your children's life. Should have got it right the first time. All of you single people who aren't married and got no kids, I'm talking to you. How about you get the shit right the first time? Get it right the first time. Some women don't yet understand, especially in this day and age. You don't understand that giving up access to your womb starts a chemical bonding process with a man. Do you understand that? There is a chemical bonding process that you go through. That's why, have y'all noticed this? And we can do so by show maybe a one in the chat. There is a bonding process that goes on here. When a woman is in competition with another woman, they're both rushing to have the baby so they can have a better chance at claiming him. That's why you're not supposed to give your womb up in the first place. The second you do so, your body goes into bonding mode. I'm trying to bond with him. I'm trying to claim him. What's the number one way you can tie yourself to somebody for life? Have their freaking baby. Fellas, y'all better listen up. All these women are lying. It ain't just sex to them. What's wrong with y'all? Unless she is doing it for work, she is trying her best to stay unattached mentally. You know how many social psychologists say this is why pros got to get drunk and do drugs before they get into work? Because it's hard for them to undo that chemical bond. That's why they're mentally screwed up. After how many? 500? They're gone. They detach themselves. They're mentally screwed up. The second you take a woman's womb, she gives you access. She trying to bond with you, bro. She trying to have your baby, bro. That's why she trying to be all up under your arm all the damn time. Fellas, you better listen up. They lying to you. I get it. I get it. They're lying to you. They're telling you, oh, I can do that. I'm just trying to get down too. Bullshit. Bullshit. She wants to have your baby. Don't let her lie to you. It's not just a mental problem. It's biological. Ladies, if you love him, you're bonded to him. Therefore, you want to give him children. You want the children birthed from your body to look like him. Women obsess over such things. You know, y'all can't. Women pillow talk with their husbands. You know, women pillow talk. Women pillow talk. Y'all know that y'all tell on each other, right? The second y'all meet a dude and you get excited, don't lie, ladies. Y'all start planning out y'all little life together and shit. Don't lie. Y'all start planning out your life together. The second you meet a dude and you like everything about him, y'all start planning out y'all life together. I dropped the link for those of y'all that want to come up shortly. So let me talk about hypergamy for a second, because this is what women claim that they're doing. And I beg to differ. Because this is where we're supposed to have the discussion about natural hypergamy. Of course, she wants to have his baby. She's practicing hypergamy, isn't she? No, no, I don't think so. Modern women are not practicing hypergamy. They've been lying to you. On this particular topic of procreation, they've been lying to you. They are not practicing hypergamy. We wouldn't have this many women complaining about their baby daddies if women were actually practicing hypergamy. Women today are practicing superficial hypergamy. If modern women actually wanted competent mates, you wouldn't have a problem finding them. That is a fact. Most competent, marriageable men are gone by age 30. Most of them. So if y'all were practicing hypergamy, you would have been getting the best, the best dude, the best attitude, takes his ass to work every day, manages money well. Y'all have been looking for all of those characteristics if you were actually practicing hypergamy. That is what hypergamy dictates. Good jawline. Hair? Like what? Hairstyle ain't hypergamous. He comes from a good home, good stock. His parents are going to be involved in the children's lives. His parents want to be there to help me babysit. His mother says she'll cook dinner 3 times a week. If you were actually practicing hypergamy, and this is not to disparage men or women, waiting to get married, because the honest truth is, but the honest truth is that whatever reason you waited to be married, it should be taken as you not prioritizing marriage. So yeah, there are some good dudes after 30, but you didn't prioritize getting married. So unfortunately, you remember things are black and white for me. You lump yourself in with these fools. You want to know how I know? This is why I hate those ready to love shows. Put a one in the chat if you watch like that ready to love. I can't. I'm a sucker for that type of stuff. That shit is funny. All of that stuff is comedy to me. But one of the reasons I hate those shows, though, I love the show, but I hate the show, is because they only show leftover men. They only show leftover men. All those dudes over 30 are weird. First off, let me tell you something. This is a real statement. Ain't no way I'm 30 whatever and single and have the life I have, the work ethic I have, and I'm gonna go put all that shit at risk to go get with a chick on a TV show. That shit's stupid. That's just stupid. I'm not risking love. What the kind of bullshit is that? I'm gonna take my time and do this carefully and act like I got something to lose in the process. I'm not going on that damn show. All they got are leftover men on that damn show. It's embarrassing, as a matter of fact, because they all black men. You got dudes with lashing out at the women, arguing with the women over the pool table. Like that shit is, it gets on my nerves. There are a few well-adjusted men that go on those shows, and guess what? What kind of life do those men have? The well-adjusted men that go on ready to love. What are the circumstances for most of those men? The well-adjusted men that go on those shows are likely divorced. They've done it before. They've even had a few widowers, right? Anyway, one of them was weird. Never mind. I take that back. But yeah, the men that are divorced they're more calm, they're cool. They know how to hold a conversation. They want to know exactly by detail how the woman sees her life and what she's willing to do to make a relationship work. How do you present yourself? They tend not to mess with the ones that are overly, sexual and all of that. If I would ever be entertained to get on one of those shows, that's exactly what the hell I'd be doing. Not about to be going over there just to get with some chick that's grinding all up on the other dude on TV. My dad gonna be like, "What kind of woman did you bring in my house? What did I saw her? I saw her on TV. Hell no! Get out of my face with that. Absolutely not." Now let's get to this fourth P. I dropped the link again for those of y'all that want to come up. We're gonna talk about it: protection, provision, procreation, and problem solving. So let's talk about problem solving real quick. I only have one small statement to make about problem solving because it's self-explanatory. It really is. It's self-explanatory. But I want to let the women know something that I just realized this morning while thinking on this topic. And I was like, yeah, I problem solve literally every day. I problem solve in multiple areas of my life every day. It's become less frequent now that my brother is more mature, but I've in my, the family I grew up in. I'm the eldest child, so I problem solve a lot of stuff in the family. Like I said, my brother's stepping in. I'm very proud of him for that. He does a lot of stuff before I even get it, before I even hear about it. I've been dreaming about that since I was yay high. Somebody else help me, please. Yeah, he stepped up. He's doing that. But in my own house, I problem solve mightily every day. In the last 24 hours, I have probably problem solved 3 issues that could have been big things, but you keep them small for my wife alone, just for her. So what I was realizing this morning is that my wife approaches me with problems that deal with interpersonal relationships with other adults and work related situations. Those are the 2 categories that I can say literally she has learned to just, I don't know if she calls me first or whatever, but it's like, I need you to take, I could be in the shower. It don't matter what I'm doing. I know that's probably what she's calling me for if it don't have something to do with the kids. Because if it can't wait till she get home, that's what she's calling me for. She's disturbed about something happened, and her favorite question is, how should I approach this? Literally less than 2 hours ago, called with a how should I approach this question. So she's doing what I told y'all about yesterday. I think my wife, and this is lovely because this is the way people are supposed to grow. Everybody acts like people are supposed to have these things figured out in their life. No, you grow as a person. She wasn't necessarily like this 4 years ago. I think she would defer to herself, right? She would say, well, this is the way I will do it. No, I think she's learned when you have a competent man, you better use him. But I think she's learned a lot from watching me problem solve. Some people, not her, but some people have ego problems. Some wives, some husbands or whatever, they have ego problems. They'll watch me problem solve all day. I could be the best problem solver in the world, but your ego won't let you ask me for help. She doesn't do that. I think she's seen me problem solve so many things and fix so many situations in my family, that I grew up in our household, or just say, I'll take care of it. And it got taken care of. She realized she had a competent man in her house, right? Or in our house. What the fuck? Take that back. Strike that trigger. In our house. Y'all know what I mean. But she usually asks, how should I approach this? Because she realized she got a competent man. And I think she is recognizing where she is less effective. And she defers to the strategy of someone who is proven to be effective in those situations. That's what I think she's doing. That's what I believe she's doing. And I don't always provide solutions. Sometimes I provide my insight to let her know she needs to go down that road alone and figure it out. I think sometimes that is what is needed in certain situations. Just provide insight to be like, yeah, that's a head scratcher right there. Haven't dealt with that one before. You got it. I've seen this thing before with one of my colleagues. They just had to take it on the chin. Like you're just providing insight. Never be afraid to do that. Never be afraid to say, I don't know. Haven't experienced that before. You got this. It's a learning experience. So sometimes you just provide insight, not always a solution. We don't know everything. But what I have noticed on this equality narrative that's out now, it screwed y'all up. It screwed a lot of y'all up because I just realized this morning, I think a lot of women, and I think some of the women on the panel yesterday, if we would have got to this topic, this is probably where we were going to end up around. Women are upset because men don't come to you for the same thing. Do y'all feel that? Let me know in the chat. Do you feel like a woman expects you to come to her for advice, for guidance, for strategies, and problem solving? Do you feel like women want you to come to them for that? Put a 1 in the chat if you think that. I just realized that from all of the hours and hours and the countless hours that I spend on YouTube, women I think have a problem with the fact that men don't come to them equally as much. But that doesn't make sense to me. Someone has to be the better problem solver. And let me break it down, because that's not even what I actually meant to say. Because I'll tell y'all, I don't go to my wife for that type of advice. I don't. I don't know any man in my family that does. I know we confide in our wives about a great many things, but not necessarily to problem solve. I don't think it's a bad thing either. I think it's natural, because my wife, like I said, comes to me for problems involving interpersonal relationships with other adults and work-related situations. I prefer to go to other men for that type of insight and problem solving. Let me know if I'm wrong for that. I prefer to talk to other men. Let me know if I'm wrong for that. I realized that this morning, like, wow, is it wrong that I don't go to her for the same thing? Because it's not my instinct to do so. I got to be real. It's not my instinct to do it. I'd rather call my father. I'd rather call my frat brother. I'd rather call my brother. Hey man, let me tell, because I've never felt the sting to get a woman's insight on problem solving logical situations. I've never done it. And I need to know if I'm wrong for that. Or is it just natural? What I do go to a woman for, and I think this is what women are going to kind of act like we're, sectioning them all, segregating them to a certain level. I will go to her and defer to her expertise about the children. If there is something I feel like is wrong with our children, women, moms especially, tend to speak the children's language. My son literally speaks some other language. Like he's talking under his breath. I'll be like, I need your translator. Go get your mom, because I don't understand what the hell you're saying. She understands what he's saying. She understands what he's feeling. She understands what he wants. And I will defer to her expertise. And that is where I instinctually want to do so. Yeah, I instinctually say something's wrong with the kids. Let me go to my woman. But when it comes to logical problem solving, interpersonal relationships with other adults, and work-related situations, I would rather talk to men. I'm sorry. Let me talk to Money Muse real quick. She says, that's weird, but I'm not surprised African men try to downplay women's intelligence in their culture. So women only good for talking about kids. I don't think you have the right to say that, Money Muse. African men, especially Nigerian men, are married to intelligent women. We choose intelligent women on purpose. Like I said, you can defer to your wife. Oh, you know what? Let me say this one last part that I forgot to say. because this was actually supposed to be impromptu. Unless it's dealing in her area of expertise, I won't have a instinct to talk to her about it, or any woman. Unless I want an air to talk to a woman in her literal career area of expertise, saying she knows this exact thing. So yeah, if I need a question about nursing or nursing schools, and I know 1,000,001 nurses, I will go to a woman for that. If I know a woman lawyer that is a lawyer in this field, I will go to a woman for that, because that is her area of expertise. So unless I'm going to her for that exact thing, my instinct doesn't say go to a woman for it. Like I said, I think you're kind of proving my point. Women get upset at this stuff all the time, but it's not my instinct. You have dudes in the chat telling you it's not their instinct to go to a woman for this. If you're a dude that likes to share your experience about how you go to a woman and defer to a woman for problem solving, please let us know. This is a discussion. Please let us know. All right, I'm going to bring the panel up real quick. What's going on? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
In fact,
Hello.
JT, you were up first. Go ahead and give me your opening thoughts.
I agree with everything you just said. And I just put in the chat. A lot of women got to be honest in these comments. A lot of women know that if a man was to do exactly what you just said that you don't do, that would turn them off. And I feel like it's when you defer to them in that type of way, I think it puts more stress and anxiety on them than it needs to be. I think a lot of problems men handle and a woman doesn't even know it's a problem. It never gets to her. He handles it, fixes it before it even gets to her eyesight. So I totally agree with you on that. It's certain things that men aren't gonna talk to women in general about, but especially their wife about. Just like there's certain things that a woman's not gonna talk to men about. It goes both ways.
That's true. Demetrius Carter says Trig is the old Bernie Mac commentary. Women want to be your mother, your counselor, your pastor, your friend, your everything. But you can't be. That's the worst part about it. You can't be. And I'm one of those people that kind of moves off a natural feeling. I'm not gonna create like a situation like let me go to her to make her feel. I feel like patronizing her, placating her is worse. Because I think you're gonna see that I'm actually not interested in that. Anything that I feel like an instinct to go to you about, I do. But I don't think I'm wrong for saying I'd rather call Mr. Rich up and say, hey, I want to know how you handled this in the past. Because he's a man. He's a man. We can clearly see by in fact, solving problems for women so much lets me know I should not defer to a woman for most things. If we're
Yeah.
being fair, it lets me know that you didn't you usually display. Women usually tell you how they would have done things had you not intervened. They usually do that. Well, here's how I was going to handle it. No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
Well, we often see men defer to women when it comes to like decorating the house, picking the furniture out, sometimes picking the entire house. It's a lot
You
of
trying
money.
to trigger the whole chat. Go ahead. They're like, decorating the house. Money Muse about to come for your ass.
I,
The children.
I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't.
I'm a PhD.
Oh, okay. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of stuff that men can defer to their women too. He's just talking about on instinct, and a lot of men feel that same way. It is an instinct thing. It's certain things that we're not gonna bring to our woman because a lot of times she can't handle it, or it puts stress on her that she should not have. We as men feel like we shouldn't give that to her.
All right. Mr. Rich, let's get you in there.
Yeah, man, I agree with everything that's being said. I mean, it's hard to argue. I mean, I don't bring any of the issues that I don't have to bring to my wife. I mean, what for? Most of the time when I think about them, I just solve them. She don't need to know. When she has issues, I always used to. That's one of the things I think I've done for my wife. She
Mhm.
has these kind of things that she's really artsy. right? So she like kind of thinks with one side of the brain. So you give her a big issue, it's like one big blur out there, right? So she doesn't step through it analytically to solve issues, so she can get overwhelmed, right? So I sit her down, and when we were getting married, for example, I'll give you a good example. I'll be quick. There's a whole bunch of stuff you have to do to set up the wedding, right? And it's like 100 items or what, a 10, 50, whatever. And she's like kind of overwhelmed. She said, I got all these things to do, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, let's sit down and let's go through all the things that we need to get done. So we wrote a list, and I said, well, let's put them in order of the timing, what depends on what, and all that. So once I put it on paper and put a little, whatever, a Gantt chart or whatever you call it together, I said, hey, this is how we're going to step through all of this. She calmed down, and we just followed the steps, and that's what she needed. So that was one of the things that I did for her, and she was cool after that because she could see us succeeding getting to that date without any hiccups. Just needs to go first, and needs to go second, blah blah blah. And it was just a good thing. My father-in-law was paying for everything, so I tried. So that was cool. But that was the kind of thing I do for her, right? So. So we work well that way, but I don't go to her for no issues. No, not like that. No. That's it.
Imagine if a woman had a husband and everything he had to do, he was coming to her like, baby, what should I do? What do you think I should do with this? What do you think I should do with that? What do you think I should do? He
I
gonna freeze.
I know a situation like that though. I do, and the woman's frustrated as hell.
She gonna leave him.
Yeah.
I think
that's
part of a structure. I think that's just part of the structure that a man has, and I don't know. I consider that part of a structured plan and something that's calculated, more calculated, and something that's more logical. I could be wrong though. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. So, well, I in fact, we're gonna talk about this on the next one. Ashton, you were next. What's going on, bro?
You doing all right, Trigger Mike? You can hear me?
I'm good, bro.
I like how you pulled that Black Andrew Tate move a couple minutes ago. You smooth with the Trigger Mike. That's why I like you.
I don't know what I did, but that's me every day, bro.
You said, man, I got all my marbles. I still don't come to my wife for advice. I like that. You played it. You said it's real smooth. I peeped it.
All right. What you got? Opening thoughts on the topic, bro?
Ah, shit. I mean, I just agree with you. I'll not just agree and listen to what you're saying, like from a business aspect. Like it costs money to do what them shows you be watching, where they make a fool out of black men. I mean, I get with the happy wife, happy life situation. Like that's what TV get paid on for. And I get you ain't lying.
Oh yeah. Appreciate this. That's solid, bro. Let's get oh, my man John the Baptist in here. Oh no, Paolo, what's going on?
How you doing, Mike?
What time is it over where you're at? Because I was about to say good afternoon.
5:30 a.m. in the morning.
God, wait. wait. What's today's date over there?
Today is the 26th.
Yeah,
bruh. That's crazy. That's crazy. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I love the show. I love the show.
Damn. He watching this in the future.
we world, man. We behind.
All right. What you opening thoughts on the topic, bro?
Look, I agree in what you're leading with, Mike, and I'm going to hit it from a different angle. Our affinity to problem solve. There's an element of challenge that is required, which is why we are drawn to other men. Most women solve problem by reaffirming who you are and your emotions at that particular time.
Ooh,
I see it with my wife. Every time the children acting out of order, oh no, baby, you fine. Come here, kiss your boo-boo, all of that sort of thing. As men, when we are facing it, issues that is typically involved with our ability to procure, acquire, and maintain provision and resources, we need other men to challenge us. Well, what were you doing? Okay, this is a particular skill that you don't have. You need to figure that out. Maybe I have some connection that will help you, but it's going to be a challenge for you. These are the things that we require in a vast majority of the issue that we look to solve problem with. It's completely different when we have to converse with our wives or girlfriends or whatever it is. It has nothing to do with the intelligence of the woman, but our ability to solve problems and the skills required to solve those problems. We're not talking about women. I'm not going to come to you and talk to you about how I'm going to require more resources for us to be able to maintain the lifestyle that we want. I'm going to go to another man who has either acquired it or has the connection or level of network that I need in order to acquire that. And that's fine. I don't.
Yeah, go ahead, finish it.
That's all I got, Mike.
Damn. So that was so on point that you threw me back to what happened on Saturday at my son's soccer game. So the boy, you know, he's a mama's boy. You could tell. He don't even run back to the bench. He run back to go sit on his mama's lap. And the dad was at the older daughter's soccer game, which just ended. So he was on the phone. His boy was on the field, like trip. Naturally, kids fall in the grass. You know, they try to steal the ball from each other, fall in the grass. This boy tried to run off the field into his mama's arm. The daddy cut him off. Was like, boom, nothing wrong with you, boy. Like the mom had been doing that to him the whole game. Nothing wrong with you, boy. Turn around and go kick the ball. It was hilarious. The boy was like, well, okay. And played a great game after that. It's the second he stopped getting coddled and he got some direction. He knew what to do to play the game. He stopped coming over there and all of that because he didn't realize his dad was over there at the time. And I feel like that is what is represented. She's just reaffirming his hurt, his little, you know, the way he wants to feel, almost like he's manipulating it so he doesn't have to try. His daddy said, get your ass on that field. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You just tripped. You know, that's what came into my mind as soon as you said that. But damn, I don't even remember who's next. King Spark is next.
What's going on, Mike? You mind restating the topic? What I gather, y'all talking about, you know, how much we need women to perform tasks and make decisions or something there around that?
You missed the whole topic. That's not what we talking
Oh, I
about.
missed it. Tell me.
But I was saying right now, what I said is we're on the other two P's. So yesterday we did provide and protect. Today we're on procreate and problem solve. And what I had said, I was asking the audience and everyone, I problem solve in my house damn near every day. But I don't feel instinctively the same to go to my wife for problem solving. Like I only go to her about problem solving with the children, and it's something about dealing with nurturing or something that is specific to her job title and her area of career expertise. Other than that, I don't even think. Like I want to talk to other men. So what do you got to say about that?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I'm the same way. It just depends on if it's a subject like you said, if it's involving feeling, or if it involves me having to consider some feelings that I really probably don't want to consider, then I would ask her for something like that. For most of the time, like I'm taking care of stuff myself, like just 24/7. Like you said, we run into all types of problems and situations and angles and strategies. Like that's all a man's life is, problem solving. That's all we do is come up with problems to solve. We be looking for problems to solve. So yeah, for sure, I would say that it's not something that I would look for my woman to do at all. That's all I got.
John the Baptist.
Good afternoon, everybody. How we doing, Trigger?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, man.
So you already know how I come to this conversation, so I won't beat around the bush. I think when it comes to problem solving and procreation, all the 4 P's in general, I'm gonna say the same thing I always say, and because it doesn't change. Men of today, modern day men and modern day women, same thing for the past 20, 30 years, and they're still confused because they still keep going to women for advice of what a man should do. If you truly understand the role of a man, and if you are a man of authority and power, you understand. If you understand that relationships and society is patriarchal, If you come to the four P's, everything that you provide for the four P's, you're providing for that woman. You're giving her the problem solving because on her own, she does not have it. I'm not saying that women are not smart. I'm not saying that women are not intelligent, that they can't come up with solutions. But it's the gift that God put in men that make us better at it. And it's so when we as men understand that we are a patriarchal society, God created it that way, and we move the way we should move. God gave us the four P's because that He made us superior in those areas. And so when I bring my four P's to a woman, my problem solving and my procreation, I'm bringing it to her because I'm giving her something that she needs so that she can be a wife or so she can be a woman in community and be in her place and be in the place that God created her to be. One of the problems that we have in today's society is we keep trying to put women in a place of authority, and we can't understand that when women are trying to take a place of authority. What we have today is we have a bunch of Adam and Eves after eating from the tree of knowledge, not before the tree of knowledge, after the tree of knowledge. Ever since the tree of knowledge, Eve had been trying to overthrow the man and his leadership in the patriarchal system that God created. And men can't recognize when this is happening. Until you recognize that Eve is trying to overthrow you, you will never understand how she's manipulating you to make you feel like that she can also solve the problem as well as you can. I'm not saying that you can't take advice from your wife. I'm not saying you can't hear how she feels on the opinion. You can listen and hear how she feels on the opinion. But at the end of the day, you are the gift is inside of you that God gave you to solve problems and provide for her and to protect her. The four P's start with you.
All right, let's get Prototype in there.
You are the prototype.
You on mute, bro.
So as John the Baptist was speaking, he kind of was taking my talking points. I'm not going to say exactly how he said it, but I think we grew up in a society where we think that we can't spend some of us in food. But we grew up in a society where we think that we can depend on women to help us solve our problems. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up with a single mom, with a single mom situation. So I'm expecting to find a woman who's going to assist me in that way, in the way that a man would come to his mother. But even when you get older, a man understands he can't even come to his mother. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no advice that she can offer a man. As a boy, yeah. But once you become a man, your mom don't got no advice for you. And it's the same as your woman. Unfortunately, we want this fairy tale of, I tell my woman this, my woman is my rock, my woman is this. Man, your woman don't got nothing for you but to serve you in your leadership. That's what she got for you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what she wants. You know what I'm saying? And until men understand that, that's the only way to happiness. I kind of wanted to speak to the procreation part, but y'all know how I feel about that. Them kids is yours. You know what I'm saying? So we need to quit leaving kids to the woman and thinking like, oh, well, there are kids. No, those kids are yours. She's yours. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically just how that go.
Ooh, Sparkle, you see, whenever you say stuff like that, women always give cues. What I want y'all to do on YouTube, I want y'all to go back and watch all of this stuff and watch women's cues, because a psychologist, I don't know, what some dude broke down one of my Instagram shorts and basically detailed what it meant when each woman was moving in her chair as I was saying all this triggering stuff. Sparkle was like, oh, God, I'm his? Oh, okay, well. It's funny because you did it on cue. Watch it back. You did it on cue. I'm telling you. All right, BMU, what's going on, bro?
Hey, what's going on, man? How y'all doing today, brother?
Oh, we good, man.
Hey, so I'll say it like this, man. Alluding to what I said yesterday, I think that back in the time, because a lot of people say, what we're going back in the 50s, 60s for? Back in the day, there was man, looking up to God, man over his wife over the children. Y'all know how it goes. There was an authority just that men had that women just respected. And I think that today, the helpmeet wants help. The wife wants a home girl in her husband. femininity in men have become popular amongst women now. They like it, right? They like the pillow talk, and they want they man to be ultra sensitive to everything. A man can't be a man no more. Last night I did a breakdown, guys, of if you want to go Google this yourself. Last night I did a breakdown of what narcissism was. I defined what narcissism was, and now they put what a traditional man is. If you look at both definitions, they match. They're saying masculine men, traditional men, and narcissism is both as one and the same.
Wow.
So now they're attacking masculinity, guys. And so now men, again, going back to what I said, what I'm always going to say, like John the Baptist said, men need to be men. Men need to go to men. Biblically, the Bible tells you to go to the elders and to the men. Find me a verse in the Bible where it tells a man to go to his woman for any advice or any leadership or any type of guidance, right? We respect your opinion, but overall the man is the authority, and we're losing that. Men have become complacent. Men have become soft. They have become eggshell walkers. Where they walk on eggshells, they don't want to upset their wife. They don't want to say nothing to their wife that may rub her the wrong way because they're scared they ain't gonna get no coochie. Right? That's where we're at right now. So and I'll land my plane there, brother.
Solid. The undesirable one. Have you been on the show before?
No, I haven't. Thank you so much for letting me on your panel, Trigger Mike.
No doubt. Welcome. What you got on the topic? Opening thoughts.
So I walked in with you saying that you would not allow. Was Sparkle supposed to go before me?
My bad. I was just looking like, but she cool. She cool. My bad, Sparkle. I was like, wait, did I missed somebody? Cut.
Okay, I don't mind if she wants to go, but I came in on when you said that you wouldn't depend on or go to your woman for advice or information. You won't go to another man for that, and that you will only go to your woman for information when it's regarding the kids. Now, I can agree with you to an extent. I think women do expect for men to figure out the problem, and if you can't, then we can figure out together. I think where you miss me at is saying that women can only bring information about children or household things, as if women don't know about
Well, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
You didn't mention it either. That's why I said I think you missed me with saying like we don't know anything about credit or buying a home.
Whoa, I didn't say that either.
Where did that come from?
Oh my God!
Hey, she wrote that script and came right on in, boy.
You wrote that, yo. Undesirable. I did not. I didn't mention credit. I didn't. But continue. Sorry.
You said if I have a problem, I will go to another man about it, and that's where I'm saying you. And you said the only reason why I would go to my wife is if it has to do with children. You didn't mention any other issues that you may have, like credit, like buying a house, or anything like that. You basically, to me, you said your wife about those things.
I see. So let me. I think we're on two wavelengths. That's what it is. Certain things deal with planning. You plan with your wife. Y'all plan your life out, things, around the children, around your home, and all of that. I think that's in a different realm, right? Men basically have authority over it. But when I'm talking about specifically problem solving, and remember, I said the children and anything in her area of expertise, meaning if she is proven to where it's like, no, I can let my wife handle that. That will go to her. Absolutely. But what I'm talking about more so is like those. I said it. I said things dealing with interpersonal relationships with other adults and work situations. You know what I mean? Because if my wife is coming to me about those exact things, and one of the things that we always do when we talk to other people, they give us what they would have done before they came to us. And women have done that to me for years. And I'm telling you, this is why most men don't go to women. Your responses are usually over emotional. They actually lack. In fact, they're dangerous. Some of y'all responses are dangerous. Some men have gotten killed because of what a woman would do or her emotions. going to go tell her brother this person did this one thing or whatever. Like, you don't handle that situation like that. Men don't do that to each other, stuff like that. That's what I mean. So I'm not going to defer to her about things dealing with interpersonal relationships or work situations, because my logic is logic from a man. I would rather get more logic from a man. Another scenario, or how did you handle this? Because it's going to be methodical. It's going to be logical. Whereas I promise you, I have asked women, I think the last work-related issue I had was where I had 2 female vice presidents using me in the middle to meddle in each other's departments by putting me in the middle. And I asked a woman, like, in passing, like, a funny thing about that, said, fuck both of them bitches. You should just quit. I was like, what? Like, that's what she said. That was her advice. You see what I'm saying? Don't let them treat you like that. You know your worth. Excuse me? I got a family. I can't quit my fucking job. That's why I don't ask women. You see what I'm saying? So
Okay.
continue.
I'm not
Yeah,
triggered.
and I say,
And hold on a second, because I never finished my
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I understand where you're coming from. Women tend to be more emotional than men. Men think logically. I can concede to that, but I just want us to
But
remember, because I think John the Baptist brought up Adam and Eve. Eve was given to Adam to help him. Period. God did not say anything about another man, did not say figure it out with another man. He said figure out with this woman. And another verse we have to remember is that the family, the woman and the man leaves their family, their parents. Don't do that while I'm talking. You're gonna make me lose my train of
I
thought.
can do what I can do what I want to. But go ahead.
You're being disrespectful though. And I was being
I
quiet.
am. Cause
Let's get to the opening thoughts before we start the jabbing. Come on, y'all.
Yeah, don't be
Opening thoughts. Finish
disrespectful.
it.
So, like I said, the man and the woman leaves their parents and become one. It didn't say several, but one. It does not depend on other outsiders. And I think somebody asked, like, when did a man depend on a woman? Not necessarily depended on a woman, but a woman had to step in and save her husband. I can't remember the scripture or the people involved, but it had to
You're
do
talking
with
about
David.
the situation with David and her
no,
husband.
she's
Yeah, that was going
talking
to
about
kill the husband, and
She's talking
she
about the
had to
situation
step.
with David and the husband.
So it's not like you cannot rely on a woman. You can rely on her, but if she's not familiar or aware of your job field, what it
she's talking
consists
about
of.
Deborah. She's talking about Barack and Deborah. Deborah is she's talking about. But go ahead.
Okay, thank you. If she's not familiar with your job consists of, then I would agree that you wouldn't go to her. But even getting her point of view, you could take what's good and throw out what's bad. Of course, women deal emotionally, but it's not saying that her advice is not valid or beneficial to you. And let me say this last thing, and I'm done. Mike, you said that the woman gave you advice to leave your job. I'm a type of person where I'm not going to lose sleep or stress. I will have a plan B. I agree. You still have to provide for your family, but I'm not going to lose stress at no job that will fire me the next day. So if I could have a peace of mind where I could be comfortable and go to work, because I don't want to bring stress from work to home. I'm all about that. So that's my argument on those things.
You kind of just made my point. Do you have a nickname, or do you? Because I don't feel comfortable calling you undesirable. Like, you got a nickname?
You call me Miss Johnson.
All right, Miss Johnson. You kind of just made my point. When I talk about work, I don't talk about stress. I don't talk about, like you just said, bring stress up. This is about money. This is about provision. This is the way I pay into my 401k. This is how my kids pay their camp and daycare. And I'm getting off that daycare bill. Anyway, but you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't talk about any of that stuff. That's why that advice, it's not man advice. A man
I
doesn't.
want to double
Well,
down on that too, Mike.
she actually addressed me, so I need to address when you get a chance, Mike.
Okay, let me just say this to Mike, and I'll be done, and I'll mute. Mike, but holding that stress in is health issues there. If you're not getting that stuff off, I don't know if you go to therapy, but again, your woman is your outlet. She's supposed to bring you peace. You should be able to feel comfortable with talking to your partner. That goes both sides.
I don't disagree, but we are disagreeing on what I need to be talking to her about.
So, Trigger Mike, we brought up the Bible. It's unfair to bring up the Bible when we don't add context to the scripture. The scripture says it is foolish for a man not to seek counsel from the elder who is also a man. in troubled times or things going bad in your life, you seek the counsel of someone who has the same authority and God-given authority as you. You don't go down for counseling, you go up. So if I've been married for 14 years and I have a problem in my marriage, I need to talk to the man that's been married 25, 30 years. I don't need to go to my wife about anything, right? Because I'm not saying that she doesn't have any value in anything, but when it comes to certain things, men need to seek counsel from other men, the elders of them. So if I needed some help right now, I would go to someone like R. Payne. I will call him and consult with him. He's been in the world longer than I have. Sit down and have a conversation about, hey, where am I going wrong? Where do you see me, going in this direction? I would sit down and talk to this man about this. So when we talk about scripture, and you have people on the panel that are scripture oriented, like myself and probably John the Baptist and several of you, others of you guys on the panel, we have to say, it don't say in the Bible that a man doesn't get counsel from men. It absolutely says it. And not only says it once, it says it 11 times for men to go get counseling from other men. It doesn't say go to your wife. It says go to the counsel of other men and the elders. That's what it says.
Well, look,
Okay.
I
And
don't
so
even
Right.
need.
also and
Wait,
and
hold on. Let me
also and
say this
also
real quick.
hold
Let
on,
me say this
hold
real
on, cause
quick
she addressed. Go ahead.
before y'all make it a Bible study, because I don't even need the Bible to make my point. Okay. The point being is that women look at things from a selfish standpoint. Women's mentality and minds are mostly set up to see provisions for themselves. Men are the ones that have the vision and the foresight that think about other people and think about how they're going to protect other people, how they're going to provide for other people. So you can ask a woman's standpoint if it's something for herself or is she going to give you the best answer. But if it has to do with anything outside of her, you better off asking a man. My mic is muted.
I forgot to get Sparkle in there. So sorry. But don't worry. On the opening thoughts, you definitely get the last word. What you got for us?
Hi everyone. Okay, so this is a really interesting one. In my opinion, in my opinion, I think men don't ask to be men. Leaders don't ask to be leaders. They just take the lead. It's as simple as that. Now, when it comes to problem solving, I wouldn't expect my husband to come to me for a lot of things, to be honest. I think if he's the kind of man that will either ponder on something and deal with it on his own, or he'd probably consult with his brothers or something like that, or go and seek guidance from our pastor or something like that. But he might come to me for my insight, for my opinion, but he doesn't ask me for advice. He might just present the case to me and say, what's your take on this? And then I'll give him whatever my insight is, and then he'll either pull from that to draw his own solution, or chances are what I was thinking probably was already in line with his way of thinking anyway. But he doesn't tend to come to me for advice. If he does, it's usually involving, as King Spark said, more emotional matters, or if it's to do with dealing with other women, so women in the family, that kind of thing. If there's a situation there, he might ask me, okay, how should I deal with this woman? Because obviously women know how women speak, think, and all the rest of it. But for the most part, no, he's the kind that would sort of sit and think about it on his own. He might come to me if he needs me to pray on a situation, if if it takes another person to come and pray on it with him.
That's
But
a good one. Women do pray.
other than that, not really. No, he'll deal with
We
it.
got a chameleon.
Let's be honest, man. Women are not battle tested, man.
We
Women
got a
women are take
chameleon.
women have been taken care of from their inception. So they ain't really been through shit. Okay.
I
So the
think I
point of
said that
asking
yesterday.
point of asking women about shit is like, I know you ain't been through nothing.
Well, the thing is, King Spark, a man will only ask a woman about something she knows. Like Mike said, something she has expertise on. Now, from childhood, you men are taught to be strong, to be tough, to take charge. Women are coddled and they're taught, to be soft and this and that, and they're taught to be in their emotions from baby age. So when it comes to the thing is, I think it depends on the woman though, because Some women get hyper emotional and hyper sensitive to certain situations. But then there's other women, I'm thinking of my mum in this situation, who, when it's a high panic situation, they spring into action and just get stuff done. But there's a lot of women who will panic. And so I think it depends on who you're dealing with. It tends to be case specific sometimes. But if you're dealing with a hyper emotional woman, you're not likely to go to her for advice. You might just seek insight.
And I think with the help me version of the situation, like from that standpoint, I don't think women are the best with making ultimate decisions, but I think women are really good with once the decision has been made and you give them a task. Once you give them a task, they'll figure out tons of different ways to get that task done.
Yeah,
To be honest,
yeah.
I don't think a lot of women, like, okay, if it's a hyper serious situation, I don't think a lot of women will want to make the final decision
They don't.
because if it all
They
goes
don't.
south, it's on her head and she has to think.
I was like, the one thing that has been proven since the beginning of time is women don't like to take blame. They don't
Yeah.
like to take blame. It literally is, and it's biological. I'm working on a hypothesis. I'm telling you, it's going to take me 10 years to do it, but I'm gonna prove it.
We
Women
don't
cannot.
mind sharing the
Women
blame,
cannot.
though.
You know, on YouTube, the number one narrative about women is that women don't take accountability. But what men, I don't think, realize is that women cannot take accountability in the presence of men. It's like a biological inhibitor chip in y'all to say a man is here, therefore he takes the blame. Let me sit my pretty ass down and go do so. I think they biologically cannot take. Hold on, who got all this? Is it
Yeah,
John?
it's John. I think that's John. I don't know who it is.
I think it might be John. I'm not sure.
Hold on, is it John? No. All right, yeah, but I think it's biologically women are inhibited from taking accountability in the presence of men. I think they're just like, oh, the men are here. My hands are broken. Let me go sit down and look like, I think it's natural, right? So I want y'all to take oh snap. We got Paolo here. I want y'all to take a good look, and you can check me on this. We got Paolo here. Didn't your prime minister, that was a woman, didn't she just resign or like leave?
Did she?
She did. Yeah.
She did.
She sure did.
Now, here's the interesting thing about that. When I saw that a few months ago, I said, we are about to go through probably the biggest economic crisis in history as far as this many countries are concerned. Changing of the dollar, inflation, all of that. And I said, oh, that woman does not want to be on the ship when it goes down. I said that.
Mike, our
And
prime
she just
minister was
resigned.
worse. Our prime minister had been in office for like 45 days and she resigned.
Resigned. Like, women don't want to take the blame. Like, come on, they don't want to take the blame for
Hey, and you know what, Trigger Mike? You know what, Trigger Mike? She's maggot food right now. But I'm from Louisiana, so for Kathleen Blanco was the same way during Hurricane Katrina. When the shit hit the fan, she didn't know what to do. She didn't have no direction. She's asking everybody else for direction, and they like, you in charge. She sent the National Guard down there to shoot up people that were stealing bread out the store. It got really, really funky in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina under her direction. It was horrible. And at the end of it, it wasn't me. It was the lieutenant governor. He made the call. It was never her fault.
I just want to add to this. This is a conversation me and my wife had to have, and I had to have it with her earlier on, in the sense of we do not need to fully understand each other, but we can appreciate what we bring to the table. The relationship is not for us to be, not for me to be another woman to you or you to be another man for me. You will never understand the things that I deal with. I will never understand to the full degree that you want me to understand you. But I can appreciate what you do as a woman, and you can appreciate what I do as a man. If I am unsure or confused at certain things that are happening within the relationship, we can ask a question and we can have the conversation. But I think this is what the vast majority of the conversation comes up, and I hear it with a lot of the young men that I get to deal with, is that this notion that we need to fully understand each other. That is a fool's battle, and you will never win that. That is never going to happen. But you can appreciate what each other brings to the table. And this is why we counsel other men in the sense of, it's just the way we are. We're built in that certain way, whether you want to look at it from a biblical standpoint or from a biological standpoint. There's a reason why the Son of God chose 12 men to be by his side when he was on earth.
Indeed. I like that.
So
All right,
I want to add to that. I want to. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. Add to it, then we'll move on.
So this is what I've been preaching for years, and I agree with the gentleman. I didn't catch his name who was just speaking. Men need to understand that trying to understand a woman or a woman trying to understand a man is fruitless. What you should understand is your role that God created you for. Spend more time learning your role, and the conflict that we have would disappear. The problem that we have now is you have men, especially in modern day time, you have men trying to be men and women trying to, men trying to be women and women trying to be men. And this crap is confusing. If you learn your role, all the confusion would disappear. But this is the problem. We want the confusion. We want the chaos because we keep listening to what the other person should be doing rather than what we should be doing.
Indeed. I like that. I mean, that makes perfect sense when you think about it. All right. Thanks for everybody coming through to the Trigger Mike show today. I got I got some questions for y'all. We're gonna get the next question going on. And I want to hear from Miss Johnson first, because I think this speaks to this speaks to a lot. I got two questions kind of centered around the ladies. Do modern women understand a man's role in procreation? And what I mean by that, what I mean by that is naturally, you heard us say that those are my kids, right? But women think they're their kids. And I've heard this a lot. I think it's their kids because, the government's on their side. They get custody. He's just a sperm donor, right? So in that sense, do you think the modern woman understands a man's role in procreation? You got the floor, Miss Johnson.
Thank you. I think that some women do understand the role of a man in procreation. They understand that to have a child, they need a man. To raise a child, they also need a man. I think the issue is that when they see the person that they're with, I'm not saying every person, but when they see the person that they're with is not providing, not parenting, because providing financially is not the only way to raise it, is not a way to raise a child, but actually being present. If you're not there, that's when I take on that title of my child. If I'm the one that's providing, if I'm the one that's raising, that's when, and it should not be like that. It should not be said out loud, because you should still leave room for a person to fix those issues, to come back and participate. But today's age, like you said, people are selfish. I would not just say women. People are selfish, and so they want all the credit to themselves. They want the recognition to themselves if they're the ones that's putting in their work. I feel like if a man is doing what they're supposed to do, a woman cannot say my child. They would have to acknowledge that this person is helping and say our child. And like I said, I had to learn that. I had my child at 22. I'm 32 now. I was a bit selfish. I used to have a habit of saying my child, and my son's grandmother had to tell me that's not your child. That's you guys' child. Even if the person is not active, you still want to say those positive affirmations, ours, and also encourage the child to respect that parent. You still want that dynamic role, even though that person is not being active, and that could go on both parts, the mother too. You still want to keep that that family dynamic and respect that other person. So that's my opinion.
This is where we get messed up again.
Man, hey, bro, listen.
This is where we get messed up again.
This what, hey, King Spark, you absolutely
This where we
correct,
get
bro.
messed up again.
Because it's just like being a man. You hear a lot of women say, a man's not a man. A man is to be respected regardless of what you see in him, what you think of him, and where he is in the position in his life. He is to be respected because God created him to be that. He is that. He gets respect because he's coming from that. When it comes to a child, it doesn't matter if I'm with you. It doesn't matter if we're separated and I got court papers showing I can see my son every Saturday. I don't ever want to hear out of your mouth, my child, because we're going to have so many problems, because it doesn't become your child just because you gave him macaroni and chicken nuggets. And
I got a better one than that. I got a better one than that.
Hold on.
First of all, you diminishing what the man is supposed to be doing for the child.
Come
If
on,
you
King.
think then that you can do it, and you thinking that you're already doing it, okay, then you miss the boat, because the man has his certain key elements and things that he's supposed to raise and put into the child overall that you can't even provide. Just because you got a little bit of money, that don't mean you can provide what you're missing by not having the man there. There in turn means you can never be providing what the man is there to provide.
Okay, so
And,
next
you
after
know,
that, hold on.
John, just a second. That's why 70% of women are on antidepressants or any some type of psychotic medicine, and out of that 70%, 45% of them are single mothers.
Okay, so
All
y'all
right,
got to
John, real
start
quick.
You
listening to
got
the
to know
answer
your
that she,
place.
y'all got to listen to the answer that she gave. The question that Trigger asks is the child. The question is the child being the man's. She went from being mine.
You're breaking up.
We're breaking up, John.
That ain't nothing but the devil.
Yeah.
Amen.
Damn.
The child. You hear me now?
You're in a bad area.
You're,
You
you're
still
really
can't hear me?
choppy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
really
in a
choppy.
bad area, I think, brother.
Let me go and you come back, man.
Yeah, what's up, R-Pain? That's my boy right there.
Yeah, just real quick. That whole thing about women, I think they naturally think the kids are theirs, not just because of the environment and laws. They just naturally do because of the physical connection. However, every man, the very first time your woman said, "These kids are mine," you got to correct her right then and there and tell her why.
Off
I
top.
did that to my wife as well. I mean, first time she said, "Wait, let me stop you right there. These are not your kids. They're our kids." I had to stop myself saying they're my kids, but that egg is just sitting there and it's dormant and it'll just flush out every month unless my sperm had to go through all kinds of shit to get there, right?
Facts.
And
Can y'all hear me now?
so don't
Do I
be,
sound better now?
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna be done real fast. So yeah, men have to be. I think a lot of men let that go, and that's one of the problems because they don't realize that you're not just a paycheck. This whole thing about women saying, "Well, if you ain't paying no money, these are not your kids." That's stupid too, because it's not true. And matter of fact, a lot of time when men pay money, if your woman's a hyena, you still can't see them. Because she's putting all kinds of damn obstacles in your way. And let me tell you, where we have too much evidence that women can't raise boys, and that thing that happened in Chicago tells you everything you need to know. Everything you need to know. With all those kids, there's a lot of the flies out there, and men have a part to play in that. But this just needs to be deeper discussion of how we fix something like that. And I don't know if it can be fixed on either side right now. All right, John, I'm done.
Okay, so I appreciate that. Yeah, sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, the answer that the young lady gave to answer the question that Trigger asked it was insufficient answer, and this is why. Because the question was dealing with who does the child belong to. She went from talking about she understood the mistake that she made by saying it was mine, but then graduated to the answer being that it was ours. But you need to graduate to the idea that no, it's the man's, because the way God created society is a patriarchal society. And so the reason why the child belongs to the man, because men lead and create and build, and your only responsibility is to exchange or to pass the culture from one generation to the next. But it's the man's job to create the culture. So until we understand that the child belongs to the man, the family belongs to the man, the wife belongs to the man, the kids belong to the man is responsible for everything. So when the ship goes down, God does not come to the woman and say, "Why is the ship going down?"
Yep.
God goes to the man. And he said, "Why is the ship going down?" He doesn't go to the kids and say, "Kids, do you blame your mom for this?" No, the kids going to ultimately blame the dad for everything, because the kids look to the dad when things go wrong. So women, by saying that the child is yours, what you're trying to do is unknowingly what you're doing is you're taking the blame. You're putting the responsibility on yourself. You're not built to carry these problems of society. God built you in such a way that you are to transfer culture. The way you take our semen transfer it through your body and produce us a child. That's what you're created to do, to transfer what we create. The natural biology of what you're created to do gives you evidence of what you're supposed to do in life. But what we're trying to do in life is what women are trying to do, what men are trying to do. We're trying to change up the natural order and the natural body, which the confusion is, because that's why you see so many men going to hospital now trying to be a woman. This is confusion. That's why you got so many women going to hospital trying to be a man, because they're confused. And whether you're not the LGBTQ or not, what you're doing in society is, in this conversation, we're doing the exact same thing. We're making everything so confusing. What God's going to do eventually is what he did in Romans. He's going to give you to your reprobate mind, let you all the foolish things you want to do.
Hey, John, you said something there. I just want to say it real quick. I do believe that the growth of gay men and men wanting to be transvestite women is because they don't want the responsibility of being.
What
men.
is this? The 80s? This man said trans. What? We don't say that anymore.
But
why? Okay, why don't
we say aisle 5 in Walmart? That's what it should get.
Ho. What's wrong with him saying what he said? That man said what he wanted to say. Don't embarrass him when he says what he
I'm
wants to say.
not embarrassed.
No, he's not embarrassed.
Like, we don't say that word anymore. Like,
why don't we say it anymore?
no, I'm
What's wrong
saying
with
the
him saying
word
it?
Out of the
is
politically
outdated.
correct.
Like, I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that since
Who cares about? Okay,
First of all, what did I say? I said tranny. What did I say?
This is the this. Hold on, Payne. So this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about right here.
No, John. I'm not saying he can't say it. I think you're taking context.
I don't even remember what I said now.
The
What did I
word
say?
is old as hell. I have not heard it
Correct.
since the 90s.
Correct, but I'm saying though, but we don't care about somebody. Not you, Trigger. Somebody said it's not politically correct. I'm dealing with issue. Who said it's not political? What I'm saying.
Trigger Mike did say that not politically correct.
I said that.
That was him.
Oh, okay.
I sound like a woman.
So what I'm saying. So the point I'm making is that we men who are moving and leading, we don't care about politically correct.
That's right.
Okay.
Because political correct.
And I don't even know what I said that was wrong. But
political correctness is based on feelings. Is everybody surprised?
Okay. Yeah, we not no patriarchy for whatever dude that
I
said
don't want to belabor the point, but my main point is that men don't want to be responsibility to be a man anymore. That's why they're changing their sex.
I agree with you saying. So I did want to
go ahead, Ms. Johnson.
No, I just think men want to be what their mama is. They want to look like their mamas.
That's true. But the question, I want to remind everybody what the question is, and he has it on the banter at the bottom. It says, "Do modern women understand a man's role in procreation?" Not taking away from the fact that a woman still has a role in that procreation. So no, it's not on the man solely. Huh?
I just said a pretty fun one too.
I can't really hear you, but I don't want to lose.
I said a pretty fun one as well. The woman's role.
Right, exactly. It is, and that reminds me, like, men. The Bible says men should not be wasting their sperms. In today's age, men are constantly wasting their sperms away. They are not valuing, how you guys said. A number of you guys on this panel said valuing your sperm, how hard it takes to get to that egg. They just give it to anybody, spread it everywhere widely. But
wait a minute.
Hold on.
Yeah, I've been waiting. I do what I've been waiting on, right?
She's not wrong.
Hold on. I want to thought. Now,
go ahead. Rock out.
What I said was, women, when a man is active, when he is present, not financially, physically, right? That's when a woman should and will understand that man's role. Oh, I believe no woman wants. It's no fun being a single mother. It's fun getting getting that baby, but it's not fun raising. Excuse my language. I don't know if you don't allow cussing on here, Mike.
Have you heard me talk? What? You hear my monologue?
All right, this is my first time here. Nobody wants to raise these ugly niggas by themselves. Okay. It is hard. It is hard. So if you're willing, if you're being a participant in this role, of course, I'm going to be like, please come get this ugly nigga. Please do it. Please. As long as they come back safe, healthy. Hold on, I'm not finished. as long as they come back healthy and safe. I concede on the fact that women are selfish. People are selfish, because if you walk away from that child, you're selfish. If you are keeping that child away from that other parent, you are selfish. You're not thinking about anybody else but yourself, because a child needs both parents, not just the man. Yes, a man can teach a man how to be a man, but a woman can also teach a man how to be on the more feminine side, I guess you guys are saying.
Oh,
Men
hell
do.
no. Stop. Hell
No,
no.
no,
Hell
no,
no.
no,
Can I
No.
finish?
no,
Oh
Hell no.
no,
no,
No.
no.
Ms. Johnson,
Trigger,
you done
No.
messed
trigger.
up.
Hold on.
You done
I'm gonna
messed up,
Hell
Ms.
no.
Johnson. All right,
Can I
let's get
I'm
somebody
finish?
else here.
hold
Oh
on.
Hey,
man,
but
oh
no, you
man.
cannot sit on no panel full of alpha males and say you can teach a man how to be feminine.
No, you done fucked up there. Oh
Oh,
no,
hell no.
You
no,
cannot tell
get our boys out of here. Oh
me
man.
in
Let her finish
emotions
so
right
we
now,
can
sir.
get after
We're not
No, that's,
responding
hey,
to
man, hold on. First of all,
No,
now, I ain't
no.
disrespect you. I'm just saying you cannot teach a man how to be feminine. That's the problem now. That's why
That
we
is
got
Let me
these
the
dudes walking
say
around here right now with Skittles in their pockets and with their
let me
heads leaning back with nails done. That because of what
hear
that comment right there.
what I'm saying.
see,
I don't want you to
yeah.
feel what I'm saying. I want you to hear what I'm saying. A man does need some type of feminine, because if you're going to engage with women, you cannot be hard with women.
No, no. So
Oh,
let me
hell no.
You have to
let me
like man.
let
father
How
can
do you
teach
hold
men how
on.
to treat a woman.
Let me add context to that.
How much you got to
Ms.
pay to
Johnson.
get
Let me
Sorry.
add context to that, Ms.
He said the
Johnson,
Fight
because
Club.
no, this is good. This is good.
This is
What you
good.
call it?
This is
It's good commentary, because
Right.
what
this is
women don't
destructive. This is
understand is
destructive.
hold on.
No, it's not.
Miss,
Go ahead.
that is the common rhetoric, Ms. Johnson, that women are supposed to teach men or young men how to treat women. That is false. All we have in the black community are boys raised by single mothers, and they treat women the worst. So boys raised solely by women still don't know how to treat women, because
there's no
fathers
balance.
hold on. Fathers teach their sons how to treat women. You may
Right.
be a woman, but men experience women. So I'm going to teach my son how to get positive experiences and responses from women due to my experience. So it's like women backwards thinking when a woman says, I'm gonna teach my son how to treat women. Every woman has failed. Like every woman has failed. That's why you defer to the father. Fathers teach their sons how to treat women, unfortunately. And I know moms think, oh, I'm going to teach him to be sensitive. You're crippling him for life, because now he's not going to be enough of a man to hold the gaze of a serious women.
And not to
So,
mention,
yeah.
Okay,
women treat other
And
women
then
like
he'll be going on girls trips with you.
Could I please respond, Mike?
All right, let's get Sparkle
Um,
now. I'm going to bring EBD up.
Can I respond to you though, Mike, before she goes? The
Yeah.
issue I think there is that there's no balance. Of course, the woman is raising the man solely on her own, and he's seeing the feminine part mostly. If he had a balance of masculine, I cannot. If you're telling me that men are supposed to be masculine and not feminine, how can you teach a man to treat a woman softly?
Well, I can
Well,
answer
hold on.
that.
First of all, we should be talking about. First of all, we should be talking about marriage. We need to be talking about being married, having a nuclear family. We're talking about people that's not together.
Exactly. I was going to
We
say,
need to be talking about marriage.
So let me
how
answer
many?
this. So let me tell her this.
Wait, hold
Listen,
on. It was Sparkle. Then you.
Sparkle.
All right, Sparkle. I'm gonna drop down real quick.
I haven't went yet.
Sparkle, Mr. Rich, and then EBD.
All right. Yeah.
So to actually answer the question, there's actually two parts to this. Do women understand the role of procreation? Today, no, because society has made them think it's all on them. They get to choose whether the pregnancy is carried out. They get to choose whether the father can be involved, and so forth. Historically speaking, and the way I see it is, of course, from the biblical standpoint. There's a reason throughout history why genealogy is only recorded through the father's line. Right? There's a reason for that. There's the same reason why the wife is supposed to take on the name of the father, because they're his family. That's why it's always gone that way. And that only changed, in my opinion, when firstly with the single mother epidemic, with putting the mother's name on birth certificates, and when women stopped taking the names of their husbands when they married them. All this double-barreled mess, and I'm keeping my name, and all of that, I think, threw off the mindset and the perception of the procreation side of it. The other problem is that whether it's through TV shows, commercials, or whatever, fathers are often portrayed as dumb imbeciles that don't know what they're doing, and I'm just going to grab a beer, and they have no masculine leadership roles portrayed. So what happens is women feel like, oh, I don't need a man, I can go and get a job, I can raise this family, blah blah blah. But again, this is the difference between boys and men. Like I said earlier, leaders don't ask if they can lead, they take the lead. So I think people and women, sorry if it triggers you, but there's a reason why throughout history it's always been genealogies and historical records and family records in the man's name. As Rich said earlier, it takes his sperm to even start the life process, literally. So I think sometimes you have to just get down to the basic science of it and then move into the more societal elements after that. But they are the man's children.
I will tell you, in the public health scientific community, you saw what they did with Roe v. Wade, and I'm just going to say this because I'm going to get in trouble.
Which is a good
But,
thing.
Yeah, in the public health science community, they're going to come through, because what they're saying now on the conservative side, so y'all know I am a conservative, is that when they switch this back, they are not going to say, they're not going to do any of this custody stuff. They're going to say fathers are the biological property of their children again, irrevocably. Like they're going to prove it biologically, to say that women taking or doing anything with a man's child, you are now stealing his biological property, and it will be punishable. So you're going to see a bill like that come up before the election.
However,
and
that could
how
only
many
come
men do you
up,
think are going to be like, fuck yeah, let's do
but
that,
Mike,
and
that
vote for
could only
whoever
come
brought that
up-
bill out?
That could only come up if mandatory DNA testing was done, because there's a lot of men who are parenting babies that aren't theirs.
Well, it
They
would
don't
have
even
to be.
know.
Yeah, biological property. That's what I'm saying. It would have to be proven through DNA.
Say it's up to
Absolutely.
30% in the United States. In Jamaica, it's like 70 plus. They don't know who the fathers are.
But okay, so but get back to the main point that Trigger brought out, which is really what need to be talked about. And if we fix that first thing that Trigger talk about, that would fix all of the not knowing who the baby daddy is. Because what's finna happen in society, and I'm glad you brought that out, Trigger. What's gonna happen in society if that bill becomes law and goes into, I guess, whatever it takes to make it, when that happens, it's gonna also make women more accountable.
Yep.
And that's what, because it's going to be because when you start having to do DNA testing to find out who the father is, and you think it's embarrassing now when you see these shows on TV, these court shows on TV, and it's 2 or 3 women embarrassed, 2 or 3 men that could be possible to be the baby daddy, and we think it's just a small segment of the population. Wait till you find out that it's more than just a TV show, and that this is more widespread than you think it is. Well, that decision, I let him play here and let you go up, Payne. That decision that Trigger is talking about, if that bill becomes law, when that child is proven to who the father is, and if that mother decides to leave that man, but that child stays with the man, and she gets no child support or no alimony,
yep, she's not going to be interested.
At that point, she won't think about leaving anymore. Because it won't benefit her to leave if she can't get the resources for child support or alimony. Because she's going to realize then the benefit to be tied to that man is what's going to secure me. So with the money, women are going to follow the money, the resources for security. That law, I don't know if it'll ever get passed, but I'll let my plane there, Mike. Real
quick. Let me
hang on. Go ahead, Mr. Payne. What were you saying?
Yeah, let me go ahead and say what I was going to say real quick. Listen, listen, Trigger Mike, I don't know where you hear this bill coming from, but I believe it when I see it. But the bottom line for this whole thing about women becoming more accountable, it's going to take a long time, because even right now, when you talk to women, they don't want to take responsibility and accountability for their own womb. That's why in these spaces, when you talk to them and say, listen, it's your fault if you get pregnant. Well, it's a man, he did this and that. And it's her fault because she allowed the guy to enter her unprotected. And she has the first right of refusal. If she told a guy to wear a condom, right, and he didn't, it's a SA situation. You can't be screaming outside, "It's my body, my choice," just because of the A word. it has to also account for sex. How many times we say women are the gatekeepers of sex, but they're not responsible for it? Of course you are. And so the point is that it'd be nice to have that kind of law, but it's not going to be a panacea. I can guarantee you that, because women can't even take responsibility for the sexual acts that they do now.
Yeah, but Rich, even that my body, my choice is actually a fallacy, because it's not the body or choice of the baby whose body it really is.
Yeah, but I'm just saying in general what the women are saying themselves. I know what you're saying, but they don't take responsibility. If you talk to any of these parents, you ever listen, not one woman really believes that it's her fault that she's pregnant. They always try to say it's the man and all this. So listen, and let me tell you this: every woman who doesn't want to be pregnant, they don't get pregnant. Anyways, that's it for me.
No, I got you. Just in the, yeah. Go ahead and respond to Pain. Go ahead.
Oh no, I haven't went on the topic.
Hold on a second, Power.
Here we go.
I'm gonna just say briefly. First of all, it cannot just be solely my fault that I'm pregnant. Yes.
Of course it is.
Hold on, please, Pain. Everything, and I did not agree with it, and I didn't interrupt you not one time.
That's all right.
But
I'm sorry.
I do. A person who does go through with the pregnancy and everything is taking responsibility, because the child is still being raised, still being taken care of, and still being raised up to the grown age. The issue that I have is, no matter the mistake, no matter if it was an accident, whatever, I didn't want it, I didn't plan it, you still have responsibility to that child.
That's not my point.
A person who takes care of a child by themselves is technically, to me, considered a prisoner, because you really don't have that many outlets. You have to take care of that child. You have to put that child first. You cannot put yourself first anymore. But on the other hand, because the man does not carry the child, he gets to venture off and live his life as he please and not take care of responsibility. That's where my issue. I don't care where the blame is placed, as far as I'm going to go.
You can't let Trigger.
Hold on.
Well, hang on. Let her finish. Hold
on. No, some things y'all can't let finish.
You gotta let her finish. You gotta let her get it all out, and then you gotta know what you're responding to. You gotta know where she ends up.
Say that you're a masculine man, and then sit up there every time I say something, you interrupt me based off of how you feel, because it's not fact.
No, go ahead and
she talking about me. She talking about me.
Whoever wants to consider themselves masculine but tend to portray themselves as feminine.
Go ahead and finish up, Ms. Johnson. Go ahead and finish.
Thank you. Like I said, the responsibility of that child it lays on both parties. Whoever laid down and had procreated that child, then should take responsibility once that child is born. I do not care
we're not talking about that.
I do not care about
that. I mean, how many times you make the same point?
Ms. Johnson, I do have a question. Hold on.
You said she has to carry the baby, and that she's the one that goes through, and she should.
We're not talking about all that.
All right, Ms. Johnson, I got a question.
Mike, you know what? Thank you so much.
No, don't leave. I got a question for you. God damn it! Y'all some niggas. Ms. Johnson, if you please come back up. Ms. Johnson, I had a question.
I think that's your first. Well, not your first rage quit. Definitely a rage quit, though.
Bro, y'all could have let her finish, and then
you couldn't let her finish.
You gotta let her. You gotta. Hold on.
What mic, guys?
This is a show. 45. This is a show of intelligent minds meeting, and I can accept a different perspective, even if I think it's bullshit. All right, so I want y'all to do the same, especially because I want everyone to finish what they're saying. Because when I want to slam that shit to hell, I want to make sure you got it all out. All right, because I had a good one winding up, and now y'all canceled the game.
But she was stepping on the same point.
Barbara's still in the game, though.
Yeah, but Rich, you know.
No, Miss Johnson, come on up.
You know,
Barbara's still in the game, though. I'm rooting for her.
Okay.
Let's get to the
Trigger.
Yo, what's going on?
You can't carry fire in your bosom and think that shit ain't gonna burn you.
Man, these metaphors are killing me. I don't got a bosom.
We keep trying to play with fire, like it's not gonna burn.
Yeah, but you know what, John? Sometimes you have to give someone enough rope to hang themselves with.
That's what I'm saying.
Listen, you can't carry fire.
How long does it take her to get
How long you gonna let it go though, Mike? Goddamn. Shit.
No, I want to.
As long as you guys wait. As long as you guys keep interrupting, it goes longer. It goes longer.
Because it makes sense.
You weren't saying nothing.
Listen. I can combat anything anyone says. In fact, it's better. This is the Kevin Samuels method. Do you know why
he said
so
speed
masterful?
it up?
Hold on.
Speed it up.
Kevin Samuels was so masterful because nobody could say he manufactured narratives about women. He let them say that shit themselves. So everybody.
But Trigger. She no. She has said enough.
That's how long it took.
She had said enough in this episode already to let me know that she comes from a feminist.
Come back up.
I don't think.
Okay, let me answer the question. Let me answer the question because I think I understand. Okay, I understand. I understand. Stephanie, said what she had to say, and I know people felt some kind of way. I felt some kind of way about it, which is why I hopped on in the first place. So believe me. I've heard the responses. I'm hoping like most of y'all said what I was going to say anyway, so I don't have to repeat myself. But what I will say as a follow up, as far as her mindset into thinking that a woman is any way, shape, or form equipped to raise a boy into a fully functioning adult man. No, it's not. It's never worked in history. Only because she is too ill-equipped and ill-prepared for everything that boy in his life will have to face. The consistent, not only from the consistent rejection from other women to being bullied, to have to his first instincts about a woman when he's of age, puberty. Having sexual feelings and things like that, urges, all dating and all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah, I'm stuttering, right? But what I'm saying is, I'm getting it together. I was triggered by that, so I'm getting it together. I'm trying here. But anyway, there's just no way a woman's going to be able to sit down and have these kind of talks because the boys who do become men look for logical explanations, and what women offer and mothers offer are usually typically emotional responses. So we're not going to be able to understand and we're not going to have that communication where you're telling me I'm telling you what the problem is, and you're telling me how you feel about it. There's nothing for me to go back and use. I can't use a feeling. I can only use a solution to a problem that gets me results. And mothers don't have that, fathers do. Fathers you can go to with any kind of problem. Hey, my toy broke. Oh, we'll give it here. I got this tool. Let me fix it. Here you go. You know what I mean? There's tangible results when it comes to having a man or a father in that boy's life, rather than a woman who can just feel her way through and her first instinct is not for the man, the boy to protect himself. It's for her to protect the boy. And that's like I said, completely wrong. A boy has to learn to protect himself for his family that he will have one day. And that is not something that a woman teaches or passes on to a boy. I don't care what kind of environment you're in. You don't have that in you. We do as men. So that's what I want to say concerning that.
It was just more so. I feel like it was just more so the wording she used. Words mean things. You know what I'm saying? And if you're saying teach a young boy how to be feminine and stuff like that. Feminine and soft is two different things. Everybody is soft to a baby bird or a baby. You get what I'm saying? It's just a natural instinct. But femininity, that's just what women's supposed to be, bro.
I think
a little boy don't supposed to be like that, So I understand what she was trying to say, but not that way at all, because words mean things, and that's why we got what we got now, because we got little niggas out here with painting their nails and stuff like that, because that's the feminine side of a woman. You get what I'm saying? That ain't got nothing to do with being a man. So
She just got to clean up her words. But I guess I was trying to get what she was trying to say.
I think she
I
meant
got
to say
you.
sensitive.
It's not just the word she got to clean up. See, y'all being too soft on that situation. It's an ideology that needs to be cleaned up. She's using those words because of what she believes. You can't separate her words from what her belief system is.
Right.
She
You
was
right.
very consistent. She was very consistent for how long she was on this program today.
You right.
Her words were very consistent,
Mm-hmm.
and they were so. Therefore, we can't separate her words from what she believes. Because
Yeah.
if she believed something different, she would have said something different.
Right. Right. Of course. Of course. But you right. We right. Man, a man don't need to be talking about no tapping in, no feminine, nothing. I don't give a damn. We don't
So
know. We don't need
this
that.
is
Okay.
what it really is, and this is why we got to let the women talk, because it's not even to disparage them, it's not even to do anything like that. It's to show exactly this is exactly what we're talking about when we say a woman's perspective, especially a man, has to listen to it up to a certain point. We have weak ass dudes out here that are listening to their women as to how the children should be raised. Let me implement this feminine side to him because I don't want him to be a brute. Do you know what that woman is doing? She's calling you a brute. Because what we are operating under is the assumption that all men are imperfect brutes who abuse women. That is not true. My son can learn every bit of compassion, of patience from me.
Facts.
He will only learn chaos from you and emotional shit from you. He will learn everything about logic, being methodical, practical, taking a breath, thinking before he speaks from me. What y'all did is just let her gaslight the whole situation as if we are the brutes and they are the patient ones. Fuck that.
No. Okay, so if anybody pays attention to what just happened, Trigger, I disagree with you. You just said, well, not everything you said. Like what you said
I'm
was
about to
true.
say, I don't know how you gonna disagree with that.
Small portion I disagree with though is that
All
she.
right, go ahead.
No. A lot of portion what you said is that we she
I got a hater. No
didn't
way
want to
Mike
just
has those
gaslight.
skills. But you on my show. What you watching my show.
She was she yeah. I actually agree with what you said. So I don't think you're wrong. What I'm saying, what she did though, she was gaslighting.
I
She
tell you what the
not only
issue
did
is.
that, also spread indoctrination.
I
And
tell
so
you
what
what
I'm
the
saying
issue
is, what I'm
is.
saying to you, what I'm
All right.
saying
She
to most
came
men,
off the
all the men that
topic.
want to listen. What I'm saying to all men is this:
You're not crying, are you, John? That shit sound like
whenever you understand what someone is doing, whenever someone, I'm out of shape. Whenever someone,
yo, something's going on, bro.
What are you doing, man? What
Yo, man, take your time. Wait. Take your time. Wait. Take your time and breathe. Take your time and breathe, because you know I was doing this shit earlier. I was all stuttering and lost my breath.
Something's
I had to
going
get my
on, bro.
thoughts together.
John, before you go, let me just say my piece with her. Let me
Nah,
just
nah,
Nah, nigga.
we gotta let Sugar Curls go.
Yeah,
Sugar Curls,
sure,
go ahead.
cool,
Yeah,
man.
Sugar Curls
We've
has
been
Go ahead,
waiting
Sugar. I'm
patiently.
sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, Sugar Girl.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are y'all doing?
Hello.
Wicked.
Can I comment on previous the
Anything you
open
want.
thoughts, or
Anything you want.
okay?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So we're talking about men's ability to their role in procreation and problem solving. Was it?
Yes.
And whether or not he's going to go to his wife for advice in problem solving. I'll tell you what my husband told me before we were married. He said that I am the CEO, but he is the owner and he is the CFO of the family. And so my expectation of a CFO and an owner is to make decisions. And in order to make decisions, one has to know what the problems are and they have to be able to solve the problems. Now, I don't know everything. He even told me I'm not going to understand everything, and I don't need to know everything. I don't need to know every detail about every situation to submit, to cooperate, because some things are better being ignorant so that I can be blissful. He wants to protect me emotionally as well. So he knows as a woman, too much information can actually cause us more stress. It can actually cause us to even find ways to undermine the decision. So men, they're going to go to whomever they feel comfortable consulting in. And it's not our place to try to decide for them who they need to consult in. If your man comes to you for advice, then great. But if your man does not, go sew, go find a hobby. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a big issue. Let him do his thing, and we do our thing. And then to answer the question, do modern women understand a man's role in procreation? I don't think modern women understand a traditional man or a man's role in anything, to be honest. She only understands what she is taught and what she wants to believe. Now, if she is mixed between modern and traditional, okay, there may be some things that she can understand, but why would she understand a man's role in procreation? Because she's driven by selfishness. She's driven by entitlement. She's driven by things that benefit her. So I don't expect her to understand any of those things. That's it.
All right. I'm gonna speak on it. So, do modern women understand a man's role in procreation? I think no, because the man is the one who brings the life in. If you look at sperm under a microscope, you're gonna see that it's living. Obviously, and somebody told me something before. They were like, a man can essentially have most of the DNA of this child, which means he could potentially have the same baby from two different women because that baby comes from the sperm. So the mother, although she's a mother, she's the bearer of life, but she's not the creator of life because men create, women grow. So yeah, that's essentially my thought process on understanding a man's role in procreation. I wanted to speak on the last topic that we were just talking about that we actually got off about. Sometimes y'all have to let people talk for everybody else to understand how absurd some of these ideologies are. Y'all should have let her finish her piece because she mentioned something important. She said that if a woman is raising a child by herself, that she's essentially a prisoner. And I would say, well, if somebody goes and robs a bank, don't you think they deserve to be in prison? So, meaning, in analogy, pretty much meaning, if you procreate with a man that has not gave you a ring, that has not showed you he's capable of doing anything just because you felt like it, and then he tells you he doesn't want this kid, and you decide to keep it anyways, then you serving your prison sentence. Nobody asked for you to have sex with him. Nobody asked for you to not tell him to wear a condom. Nobody asked for you to have the baby after the fact. Women have multiple different contraceptives, and a man has a condom, which she can choose whether or not he should wear it or not. We keep letting women make us believe that it's the man's fault when everything goes wrong. But then if the child grows up successful and grows up with a bunch of money, or it's just so great whenever it's good things going on, then it's her child. When it's bad things going on, when the baby need clothes, shoes, and need to be, it's his child now. So we can't let them keep flip flopping like that. I would say it's easy. If you tell a man to put a condom on, you think he gonna walk away and not do what he was supposed to do, what he wants to do? He's gonna put the condom on and continue to do what he was gonna do without the condom.
And if he
So
doesn't, what happens? And if he doesn't and he goes on, it's an SA situation.
great.
And so that's why women don't like to take responsibility for their womb. It's a woman's choice. And always, in every 50 states in the federal government, no man can stick his Johnson in a woman unless she says yes.
Hold on. You say condoms break, but didn't I say women
That's
have
a different story.
way more different contraceptives? She could have already been on birth control. There's a plan B. She could have did whatever y'all say y'all body y'all choice is afterwards. But it seems like some women, I'm not gonna say all, some women just choose to have a baby just because.
I'll tell you what it is, right? Women need to move with intention. Way too many people just take it day by day. They get caught up in the moment and they don't forward plan. It's women who forward plan who would think, okay, there's over 40 different types of contraceptives. Let me at least use 2 so that I'm definitely covered. You know, women who are forward thinking aren't the ones who get caught up and end up as baby mothers. It's simple as that.
Hey,
But women who
Sparkle,
are just off the
Sparkle. You know, the thing is that they want to be like men. This is
yeah,
the
but
problem with
we
this.
can't
But
be like
that's what I'm saying.
it's
This is
the
the problem with this equality nonsense.
It
Okay,
is.
you got
It ruined it. It ruined it.
as soon as you come and say, okay, well we're just like you. I can do what I can. Then it's like, okay, fine then. So
yeah, but
now
in that
all the
whole
roles
thing,
switch.
Spark, even the
Now
whole
you are a woman. You
yeah, but
acting like a
even the whole
woman.
conversation around equality is misunderstood because if we really were being all things equal, then men should be able to hit women who earn more than them up for child support, which we know they don't, and all these other like laws that come around that whole situation. You know, the whole thing is tailored to make it like easy for her. But even if a man isn't in the house, he's still financially responsible for child support and all the rest of it. Very few men are going to be that careless with some random chick because they know even if I don't want to be with her and she stays pregnant, I'm tied to this chick for 18 years.
A lot of men are careless like that. Most men are careless like that. That's why we got
Well,
all
then
those
more
baby
fool them.
mamas out there.
More fool
You know,
them.
You can't.
yeah,
Well,
that's-
most men don't have children at a
no,
certain age.
I'm talking about most of the men who have kids are irresponsible.
Oh,
Most of the ones who have kids are
Yeah, they
irresponsible
are.
about it.
that's
Yeah.
not true either.
Yes,
I
it
don't think
is.
most men
I
Yes,
because
it
you gotta
is.
think about it. Most of the
I,
most of the kids are coming from a certain group of men.
Group of men. The other
Yeah,
niggas ain't having sex or
so
are
you ain't
married.
listening. So you're not listening to what I'm saying.
A lot of them.
47%
These
of the
hoes
men
are
have
scandalous.
kids.
You better get off that.
30%, 47% of the black men have kids, and 20 or 25% of them are unmarried. How many married men do you think are out there? Right? So those
Well,
guys are responsible. All the rest of the pookies and the rich dudes pumping the ladies out, multiple baby daddy.
but
There's a
before the
lot of
age of
those.
30, what I'm saying, before the age of 30, over half of black men don't have any children,
I'm talking
and
about
black
the
men
ones
have
who
twice. I'm
have
sorry,
kids.
black women have twice as
I'm
many.
talking about the ones who have kids.
there are some men out there that have children with multiple women and they look after all those children.
They
Yes,
do.
Just
yes.
because you're not married
It's
to her,
really
don't
the women
look
controlling the
after
narrative that men don't do shit. This is why I brought up that point that I brought up earlier when I'm saying that children are the property of their father. You're gonna see all of this shit
I agree
go
with you.
away. And then this is what I wanted to ask Ms. Johnson before y'all scared her off. All right, Ms. Johnson, please come back up if you would like to, please. I have questions for you. I advocate for 100% responsibility of dad. All these women that are complaining about dad, go drop that little nigga off that you don't want to raise at his front doorstep. Do you know what they usually say? Well, he don't want him. I don't give a damn what he wants. The same way you think you're in prison, well, guess what? Men are used to going to prison anyway. Drop that little nigga off at his house, and it'll give him a better life. He better off there anyway.
But Trigger Mike,
But
it's
let me
bluff though.
say,
Trigger Mike, you get what I'm saying? It's bluff because they know the baby gonna really be good with the daddy, bro.
With the
They
dad, you
just
know it's a
using
bluff.
bro.
it's
It's
not even
bluff,
that.
bro.
It's not
Trust
even
me,
that.
it's
If we're
bluff,
gonna be
bro.
No,
honest,
do you know
if we're
why they
gonna
don't want to do it? Detail.
they
Hold
don't
on,
want to do it.
Bro,
they
I
don't
know,
want to
I know
do it. Hold
why.
on, they
Listen,
don't want to do it. The baby. So they keep saying the man don't want the baby. The woman doesn't want the baby without the man.
Man,
Now the
facts,
man is not
facts,
there, so the baby is controlled. So they don't want to give up
facts.
control by giving up the baby. We're not stupid over here.
but if
I
she
was just
keeps
watching
the
a movie
baby,
called
if she keeps
Acrimony.
the
I think that's what
baby,
it's called by Tyler Perry.
Talk
Acrimony.
about men don't want the
Bro,
baby.
that's a
You ain't
lot.
want that
That's a
baby
lot of
either.
these women, bro. That's
no,
a
but
lot
if
of these women right now,
that,
fam.
we're gonna be honest. One of the reasons why a lot of women who say that, oh, I'm trapped, I'm stuck, keep the baby, is because they get given social housing that's paid for by the government. They get given tons of money, and they don't have to work. They can now chill and spend time with their girls and do lunches and all the rest of it. Which not every single mother does that, no, but there are some women who keep having kids every few years when the government, I mean, okay, America's different, but in this country, in England, how it works, if you are a single mum and you have a child, the government will put you in a house paid for. They will give you money to live on, right? What happens is by the time that child gets to the age where they can now go into school, the government will start putting pressure. You need to maybe try and get a part-time job, whatever. So all of a sudden she comes up pregnant again. And now there's money for 2 children. Women have mastered this system, unfortunately. This is the problem. It's because there's so many financial incentives and safety nets now that even if she knew it was best to give the child for the dad, now I've got to now figure myself out and pay for my own house and work and all the rest of it if he's the custodial parent. So
But
they don't know this is a trap.
But
Right,
that's
but
still,
look, what you're saying,
that still
but
don't
what you're
help the
saying
child out at the end.
in the
One
ideal
mic,
world,
one mic.
that would. Let me say this real fast, y'all can go. And what you're saying in the ideal world, that would be smart of you just to, okay, I'm getting child support for baby girl. Let me just hold this money up until 18 years, and then she can
Oh
have
no,
her money for college
they
and things like that. But what I'm saying is, they not gonna be nowhere once that baby is gone. That's why they trying to have new babies, just like you said, because they ain't got nothing. They 40, 50 years old, ain't got no experience, been living on the government, and that's why the people now, it's like, we tired of that shit. We tired of just doing shit for people that ain't doing nothing for themselves, bro. All this equality stuff, that means you take from the people that's doing to give to the people that's not doing. No, that ain't how America works, bro. And it's really backfiring on everything. So that's why all these laws are changing, and you see what's going on.
I mean, I've known a lot of single mums, and only about 50% of them work and earn money. The other 50% stay on the government-funded stuff. So it really depends on the type of woman and her mentality. But that's a possibility that she might start taking the mick out of the system.
Yo, and
All right, let me
the
get
biggest problem is, let me just finish this last thought. The big problem is they're still raising these kids without a father, and it's a choice a lot of times. You can't. I know so many women who have nice men, great men that are willing to be there for them and their children, but they don't want those men. They want the other man who already got 2 other kids. They want to be with that man. And so they end up raising the child without a father instead of settling like they should have, since they already made a mistake in their life, settling with a man that is not so Pookie or Ray Ray-ish, but he will take care and provide for you and that child. But they rather eat off with a man who had the child with them and don't care about the child, and they rather find another man that's got the same mindset as him and have a child with him. Meanwhile, it's men over here willing to drink their bath water.
All right, let me get.
That's disgusting, by the way. That's
Drink
thoroughly disgusting. Just wanted to say
Miss
that.
Johnson, you going off in the chat. Please come back up. You know, I'm not gonna let them attack you. They lost their cool for a little bit, but
No, man, don't
they
give her
got
that.
it together now.
Droning on and on about the same point.
No, we're not doing it. You can come back up and say your piece peacefully. And let me get this next topic going. We're gonna start with Paolo. Haven't heard from you in a while. So you know you brought this up yesterday, Sparkle. So you're gonna get a little bit of smoke today. Because you and Cali Bam got on my damn
Before you go to
nerves.
the next topic, let me add to this conversation real quick. As I hear your argument for the good 30 minutes, if one thing that sticks out the most, your value system, what I've been saying throughout last year, it is mostly heavily common within the Black community, because what is your ideology based on is what you act on. This is why other ethnic groups don't practice what we practice the most. To stop it is to change the ideology all across the board. To change that, it will take a super miracle. That being said, what I've been saying before, leave the garbage behind. Take a blowtorch, throw some tire, put some petroleum and kerosene, and burn it to the ground. If you don't, it's just like cockroach. You step on one, they continue to multiply. I'm in New York City and I hate cockroach. That being said, this is why we have what we have right. Stop with the youth as young. You program them not to follow the cockroach that you see outside on the street that keep doing the same old thing over and over. If you have to, I'm sorry to say this, get into arranged marriages. Don't
I'm
let
down
your
with
son.
arranged marriages.
Don't let your son, like BMU, Black Man on Thursday, throw his hot dog in any other bucket.
Very comfortable with me.
Period.
Who is that? That's Mr. Richland.
I'm just saying, because the problem. If I have to, I will do arranged marriage for my son too. We do heavy hardcore vetting. We're checking the mother, the father, the security system, your background check, 6 degrees of separation, and then I need to know who is my son dealing with. We'll talk. Other etiquette don't play that game. They just don't. We play the same old game and we complain about it.
We do. All right, let me get the next question going. This is for Sparkle. And we're gonna wait, who do we're gonna start with Sparkle, then Paolo. Paolo, you're a dad. Yeah, you told us you're a dad. So I want to know. We're gonna go around with the dads first. Because you started this shit yesterday, you and Callie Bev. And Callie Bev, if you're in the chat, bring your ass up here right now. What is an acceptable amount of time?
Take her to bring your ass here, boy.
Yeah. What is an acceptable amount of time an active dad has to spend with his children? You got the floor.
It's going to sound vague, but long enough that there's a bond. And the reason I say that is because there's a lot of children out there who, and I know this from my own experience, who they always ask, when's dad coming home? When's dad going to be around? When's that? You know, the children miss the father. They want that presence there, right? Mm-hmm. This is the point I was trying to raise yesterday, but it went haywire. Now, in my husband's case, he's got 2 children from his ex, and he sees them maybe 3.5 to 4 days out of the week. So it's literally a half and half thing, and they have a very tight bond. And there's a lot of involvement there. Now, I know for a lot of people, that's not physically possible, depending on your job, if you work away, if, you know, whatever the case may be. But I don't think a 90-10 balance is healthy. Because if your child is to constantly ask, where's dad, where's dad, where's dad? And then when dad comes in, dad's only there to be a punishing voice and there's no bond, that's a problem for me. And it's a problem for the children. That's what I was trying to get to yesterday, but like I said, it went haywire. So
now my follow-up question to that is, do you think that's the situation going on in most households?
Not in most households, but going on what we were talking about yesterday with all this high value nonsense, it definitely is for those men. If you're working 80, 90 hours a week, where's your time for your family? That's what I was saying yesterday. Now, if you're average men who maybe work 50 or 60 hours or, you know, between 40 and 60 hours, of course they're going to have time for their children. Now, they might not have time to do all the mundane things like sit and play tea with their daughters or whatever. But when it comes to maybe doing the homework or things that are a little bit more important, he's probably there. Yeah, I would agree with that.
All right. So, you know what? People keep trying to make a distinction between the UK and the US. It's the same shit going on. From what I can see, it's the same shit. Very now, today's woman, and that the black and white woman of the UK and the US, today's woman, do you think they want the money or the bond? Because you can't have both. We just established that. If you could only have one, a man who comes home, who makes an average salary, who's there to spend enough time with his kids, or do they want the man with the money who doesn't have time?
I really think there's 2 different types of women. I honestly think there are women who have realistic expectations. They know we're not going to be rich. We're not going to live that kind of life. We're going to be comfortable. The bills will be paid. The lights will be on. Therefore, let's have that balance. Let's have a good relationship where we have time together. We maybe have a date night once every fortnight or whatever, and you're around. Then you have the delusional women who doesn't matter how many hours you work or how much money you bring in, it's never going to be enough. They want more. And they're willing to sacrifice relationships to live a glamorous lifestyle. But those are the women who, once they hit the age of hitting the wall, start feeling neglected, start saying, oh, you never spend time with me. But that's, unfortunately, they put that parameter there in the first place where money was the priority. If money is king, then you sacrifice everything else. But if money isn't king, it's just it's just a necessary tool, then you're going to want that balance. I'm that woman that likes the balance. I'd rather not be rich. I'd rather be comfortable, have what we need, and have that relationship.
Can I add something? Oh, sorry. Can I just add something real quick? It just occurred to me when she was speaking and we're talking about the subject of what women and their expectations, modern women versus Western versus traditional. It kind of just kind of occurred to me that we're really not men are security. We walk around, with some insecurities, we're too short for basketball or whatever, but we accept these things and we keep it moving and go over here. But for women, it seems like the insecurity runs completely different, because there seem to be so many requirements to fulfill one woman's true security to make her feel in a safe place. You got to have the house, you got the money, the job, the looks, the muscle, like all these requirements in order for a woman to feel secure. That's just I'm just hearing all this and I'm like, well, a man can be secure in his apartment, a shoebox apartment, his crap car, or a bus, or a bus pass, and a job.
The thing is, EBD, this is why I said that there's two types of women, because that man there who's expected to be all things to all men, that woman is expecting perfection, which doesn't exist. And if you're trying to find perfection, you're never going to be satisfied. There's always going to be a problem. And look how many women you see that are rich, right? They have the perfect house, the perfect car. They have everything they need, and they still find something to complain about. Because if you're that kind of person that's just unsatisfied, you'll never be satisfied. It doesn't matter how much is given to you. There's always going to be a problem. But if you're someone that's taught to be content and appreciate the smaller things, when something great comes along, you really appreciate that. You really enjoy that thing because everything else is covered. But if you're seeking perfection, it's never going to happen. And
isn't that what's missing? That's what's missing, isn't it? Like, isn't security and content what is missing? The missing component between mothers and daughters. This is what happiness looks like. It's with you being content, not being happy with all the palace and the castles and all that crap.
But it's a fine line, EBD, because being content also breeds complacency.
To a degree, yeah.
So to a degree. You know what I mean? Like, it's what you need to be content. I don't think as far as it's about being content, that it's about being thankful and grateful that you're breathing and you got health and you can pick what you want to eat today. And like just the small things. Like if you're more thankful for the small things, it'll help you just get through the day. Like I'm just thankful. I'm in good health. I ain't coughing and sneezing and my chest don't hurt and all that type of deal. So I think
content works in there too. The same thing. It's just all antithetical to greed, is what I'm saying.
But that's also having a decent and healthy perspective, because in the West, everything again, it's all monetary, it's all materialistic, it's consumeristic. But like you say, having your health, having your mental faculties together, having your family actually around you and actually wanting to be around you, those are the things that everywhere else in the world, to them, that makes them rich. But over here, it's all the toys and the trappings. And so this is what I'm saying. I think contentment in your circumstances, not necessarily in your situation, because you can level up in your relationship, in your marriage, whatever, but contentment in your circumstances will breed a healthy family. If you're constantly dissatisfied, that's unhealthy.
That's what I was saying. That's what I'm saying. That missing component between like a healthy marriage and a messed up one, between a healthy expectation versus one that's just like you said, unrealistic.
Yeah, a healthy one is looking at what you have and appreciating it, and an unhealthy one is looking at what you don't have and resenting it.
Absolutely. This is what my actual what I've noticed about some men. Some men have no idea that there are women like that out there. They've only known unhealthy versions of women their entire life. Unfortunately, this is representative in the Black American community. They think that this level of toxicity that they have, exactly, is normal. They have no idea that there's a woman out here who only wants the best for you, who will live in that apartment. Let's be real. Let's be real. Let me answer this question this way. An active dad. So men, unfortunately, the average man has to deal with the circumstances he's given, right? The worst thing you could ever do is map a plan out with a woman about how you're going to raise children, how you're going to ascend in life, and then she wants out and ruins the plan. Because the acceptable amount of time an active dad spends with his children depends. It is extremely easy. I need to tell y'all something. Moms may form bonds biologically, but it is extremely easy once that child is out of infancy to form a bond with dad. Extremely easy.
Right.
We play with you. We are able to keep our options open for the children even when we're tired and not snap on them, right? My kids can't wait till I come home to play WrestleMania with me. That 20 minutes is like their whole freaking day, right? So if I'm out on Sunday, I've been shooting all day. I taught 3 classes. That little interaction with me sitting down at dinner, going over what they did, they can't wait to tell me that stuff, and it makes their day. It's
now. Let me say this as a father and a grandpa. You are fully correct to them, because when you say that, there's several times I'll be beyond tired. My kid and my grandkid had the audacity to jump me just to get my attention, but they know that I will play along with it, even though I am freaky, sleepy, and tired. My granddaughter give me the puppy doggy eye. My grandson don't care. He's like, yeah, you love me anyway. But that's the problem with women. Women don't understand. Men find a way to make time for their kids, because that's part of their battery pack. They do these things for the sake of their kids. A lot of these women are greedy as hell, selfish as hell, conniving as hell, good for nothing as hell. Lack the common sense, lack the decency, lack the intelligence to understand when you block off communication from the father with the kid. Not only you sabotage your kid, you sabotage yourself. That is more suicide. That's why I call these people undesirable element.
It's a key component that y'all are talking about, though. Y'all are talking about the men who are putting in the work still. Now we can't act like there's some men that we can't act like they aren't some men that will go to work, come straight home, go to sleep, and go back to work the next day and barely say anything to their kids. Because there's some men out there like that too, and I think those men are having a harder time bonding with their kid. Their kid probably doesn't feel like they know their dad. And those kids
and I push back on that.
Do you know the worst part
push
about
back on that. This is what I say. I feel like as long as that man is able to get up in the morning and come back in the same household that his kids is in, that's all I need, bro. You ain't got a presence.
So let me say this. Hold on. Let me say this.
Stuff like that.
Let me say this. Because here's the thing. It is cultural. It's cultural. Because nobody's wrong here. Culturally, there are women from the Philippines trying to get here. There are women from Asian, Middle Eastern islands that will take that man D-Town just explain. They will go consult with him privately, wait for him to be home on Sunday, and say, what would you like me to do for the kids, and what type of discipline you want me to lay down? And they will let him go to work. They won't let the children bother him while he sleeps. They will and do that. So it's cultural. What's ideal, right? We have this idealistic thing that a father's supposed to come home. Do y'all not realize that all of this is related to a woman being lazy and wanting you to do things so she don't got
right?
That's it.
That's what I'm like. Man,
women are resenting their role, right? But remember, I said yesterday they don't have help. I'm not supposed to help you like that. Grandma is, auntie is. Y'all are supposed to raise these children in a group. So you think because you're upset, I'm supposed to help you. No, because I'm supposed to be here and put on stupid outfits and doing dances and shit. I'm not supposed to be the one doing that. It's supposed to be other women. I'm actually an extremely involved dad by default. I work from home, therefore I'm home. Man, my children were sick right now. I'm 2 minutes from the school, right? So I'm an extremely involved dad by choice. So when other women look at me, I'm sure they give their husbands the third degree. And this dude, I will 100% back the dude if he looks over his shoulder and be like, I ain't doing that shit. Let my mama move in then. Then you better not object. Then you better not object if my mama move in. All right.
That's why, Mike, you're absolutely right on. Listen, if I'm busting my ass, your wife, if she's your helpmate, she explains to the kids that you can't see him tonight because he's working 16 or 18 hours. Here's the time when you can see him. He's bringing home the bacon. The roof over your head is because of your father. And that's what you reinforce, not whether he's playing tiddlywinks with the little bastard, man. Listen, all I'm just trying to say is,
why he gotta be a bastard? He got a daddy.
That's all right, man. It's a term of endearment. But what I'm trying to say is the little kids need to be taught by the woman who's on her husband's side, that if he ain't around, it's because of these reasons, A, B, C, and D, and don't hold it against him. And if you're needy when he's off, we'll let you know. You do this kind of thing. It's the selfish woman who says, I need you to be around this guy because I can't handle him, blah, blah, blah. Hey, shit, what do you want? Do you want me to reduce our lifestyle or not? Period.
But Rich, serious question, Rich.
Because it gotta be up. Because if I pay for all the bills and then you have to take off to do if I that's cool, I understand that. But what I'm saying is the key thing is if that man's come home and he's coming.
Oh, he broke up.
Yeah, Rich.
Let me get on this.
I just wanted to ask Rich a quick question, just off of the back of that, right? Today, with the whole two parents having to work to maintain it, because what you're saying is true on that, right? A child should have the explanation, but with both parents working today just to keep everybody above water, how do you then explain what I'm here and I'm working, but he's not? That's a serious question.
Which means that you're here and he's working.
So
here's the
people not doing it to be.
Hold on, y'all. Here's the answer to that. Here's the answer to that. Okay. No, but average people. Hold on. Here's the answer to that. Again, it's cultural. It's cultural. Right. Because what I've noticed, and I need women to listen to me. Remember, this is a solution-oriented show.
That's why
I want y'all to listen to this. Every version of man exists today. Because back then, men didn't help with nothing. In cultures, in Middle Eastern culture, South American culture, men don't help with stuff. And the women want it that way, right? So every single man exists. Do more stay-at-home dads than ever exist today? Yes. Men who do laundry, men who do clothes. Men that do dishes, men that clean rooms, men that bathe children, all that. All of that man exists today, and women leave this man more than they've ever left any man in history. Do you know why? Because it has nothing to do with a man's amount of help. Women overcompensate in areas that are traditionally reserved for men. The job is kicking your ass. I can't help with that because I need you to be a wife first. That this is your first job, but you want to overcompensate at your job, get tired, go give Bob all your energy, then come give me shit in the house. I don't think so. That is what we're
Mike, let me add on to that right there. That's exactly why I told my wife to quit her job. She was coming home frazzled, all that shit. I can't fix that. You coming home, bringing that shit home. Quit that shit and just come home and we'll figure it out. I said, I'll figure it out. I didn't say, well, you need to go get another job. You need to do this. I don't need you to go somewhere else and get frazzled. I need you to come home, take care of what we have to take care of. And then, as the kids got a little older, she found a place where she could bask in her femininity, and they didn't give her no problem. She's got a labor of love. So that's what I'm talking about.
I'm glad you said that.
We got to get Paolo in there. He sent him Paolo. Go ahead and get in on this.
Yeah. All right, CBM.
This is a great point, which is one of the many earlier conversations I've had to have with my wife. For me personally, it is not the quantity of time measured that is needed for the bonding with children for a man. Biologically, I'm already bonded to the kids. The second part of that is I'm bonded through how you are around them and how you uphold my image around them when I'm not there. Those two bonding elements of it is mostly enough for children in the first place. And that's how I perceive it. It's quality for me. The quality time that say I have a weekend free and I go to the games, to the kids game. I make sure that time is quality. I do not need it in quantity. Children don't need my presence to be in quantitable measure, but it needs to be in quality. And my wife found that very difficult to process at first. And I said, look, that's fine. But we have a vision. You need to uphold it, follow it, and pursue it with our children. Because my image is promoted through you, not through me, through you. And the vision that you have aligned yourself with, which are my instructions of how I see our family developing. Quality for me is much more important than being around every damn day. My children don't need that. They need structure. And I need my wife to uphold that. And it may be cultural. I can agree to that. But it's not... This is a very... Look, there's another point that I want to grasp at. I've heard a lot of couple argue this point. Well, you only work. When you come home, you do nothing. Let me be the first one to break it to you. When a man is in a family dynamic, he does not stop working. His brain is 24/7, troubleshooting, refining, going back each and every scenario of that day, previous history, and for your future. He does not stop even when he's sitting there looking blank, watching TV. In his mind, how are we going to survive next week, next month, next year, where we're going to be? Am I going to get the house? How do I put a deposit down? How much money do I need to have by 5 years' time? We do not stop. And I'll go back to an earlier point. We do not need to understand each other to the entirety that we want us to be understood, but we can appreciate each other. And I advise this to the young fathers too, because I'm young myself. Be appreciative of your wife and what she does, even as a mother. But she does not have to understand you, neither do you. Just because she's at home with the kids all day does not mean that you now have to step into her role when you get home. No, explain to her, look, I'm tired, but there are things in my head that I still need to figure out. I need to sit here in my thoughts, and I may need to consult with other men, but I appreciate that you're doing this with the kids. I may help out, I might not, but I love you, and that's how it is. But look.
Bars.
But you also got
so let me say this because this is a very teachable moment for everybody who may have not understood it. That was bars. That was 100%
Yeah,
bars.
no, that was clear.
And the issue is that women need to understand that when you overcompensate in the areas of work and you're looking in your man's direction for help, you're already doing it all wrong. You don't have control over your role in the family. And the help aspect, that's why women are like, well, men do this, well, men do that. You are looking completely to the wrong area for help. My issue with modern women today, try to actually get them some help and then watch them say no. Well, you know what? I see you struggling. Let me move my mother in. No, I don't need that type of energy. That's the shit that they're on. That's modern women. They're against every single thing that will lead to the betterment of their family. They over prioritize their personal space. They don't actually want help with anything.
Adam and Eve.
This is what I'm saying. The modern, you know how many of my homies are sitting here stuck? Like, well, I told her to quit her job. It didn't help. She's still complaining. I told her, that's why I'm like, it's nothing you can do. Every man that is trying to make his woman happy has failed. That's why you have to marry a woman with the correct mindset who won't destroy your legacy because of what she's feeling. Because these things lead to what they call unhappiness. They are having trouble assuming and resenting the role of woman that they have been assigned. Because the one thing they will not do is tell you can change your role in the relationship. But most of them want to change theirs. It's crazy.
But one thing.
Let me say something real quick.
No,
I'm glad I hear Paulo Festa say what he said, and I'm glad I'll paint what he said.
No, we're not doing. I've been quiet the whole time.
Okay, I'll let you.
All right. So what we gotta understand is, in order for a lot of that y'all said, in order for that to function really well, y'all gotta really be hustling in the 400 times be off like that. Because how are you gonna be able to have structure in a home if both people are working the entire time? There's a babysitter taking care of the kid after the kid gets out of school, and both parents are only home to put the child to sleep, feed them, bathe them, and put the child to sleep. So that has to be some type of balance, and where if I understand what y'all saying. That's ideal though. That's if the man can afford for the woman to stay home. If he can't afford for her to stay home, which most men can't nowadays, and both people are working, if he's working his ass off and she's working her ass off, that's 9 times out of 10 gonna make her slack in her department. But y'all said the men don't have to be there that much as long as it's quality time. So if you're full in your department and she's slacking in her department, it's still not gonna come out right because it's not balanced.
Can I add on to this? And this, because this is a very valid point, and it's been brought up when I make these talking points. If you're in the same place 5 years after starting a relationship or marriage as a man, then you are failing your family. You are failing your family. And people can challenge me on this. As a man, the first 5 years of a marriage, you should aim to give your woman the option to work or not. And the reason for that is she should be solely focused on childbearing and being the mother that she needs to be. And unrealistic as it may sound, but 5 years is a very long time. And if you're still, as a man in a marriage who's leading a household, if you both are still in the same place after 5 years of getting together, you are not moving that family forward. You're not giving your children any chance to ever prosper without a full-time mother in the household first. Very valid point. But
this is also something that we need to add, because we also don't even break it down in like the way we talk to each other as men. Let's break it down to the women. You do realize that men do not leave the workforce for the entirety of their life. Women tend to scale their work down as their man makes more money. That's the first thing. As a matter of fact, if you'll notice, when men make more money, their woman's life gets easier. For some reason, when women make more money, they want to make their man's life harder. I just want to make that clear. Am I lying? Have I told a lie yet? All right. When men start making more money. So what women are doing is you're trading your service. You might actually be the one that seems to be hustling, because when the children are young, who's gonna do that job except you? You're the most critical function person on site every day in the children's lives during their developmental years. All right. But you're trading that for a lifetime of being taken care of after the fact. Because once you scale down, remember, those children go to school and you go to work. So you're not with them all damn day. Then they have their own life. 18 years after the fact, they'll be out of the house, out of your hair, and you'll be finding ways to get them to talk to you and call you on Sunday. So let's not act like women take care of kids for the entirety of their life. You just worry about kids for the entirety of your life. So
Mike,
you're trading that. Go ahead.
Just on a point you raised previously, where you were saying about how men will try to offer up help and a woman will be like, no, I got this. In my view, I think the issue is that women, by and large, and I'm not saying every woman, but by and large, don't feel like they have control because they are underneath the man's authority, let's say. So they don't want to relinquish the little bit of control they feel they have. So I think for men, you'd have to find a way to do some sort of reverse psychology where you've implemented the idea in her head and made her think it's her own in order for that to take place.
Inception. That's inception. We can't do inception.
You better correct that, Trigger.
No,
Trigger, you better fix that. You better fix that, Trigger.
I gotta get content. I was moderating in the chat, so all I heard was that somebody creates. So if your wife gets out of line, go ahead, rephrase for me. I'm sorry. If your wife gets out of line and thinks, rephrase. I didn't get all of it. I was moderating somebody in the chat.
Okay. No. Yeah. So what I was saying is, when you had said before that women don't want to accept help, be it outside help, a relative moving in or whatever the case, right? I was saying, because if a woman is living under the authority of her husband, she probably doesn't feel like she has that much control to begin with. So she doesn't want to relinquish the little bit of control she thinks she has. So in order for that to happen, where she will accept the help, let's say, you might need to do a little bit of reverse psychology where you make her think that the idea is hers when really it's yours. Now, if you know your wife, you'll know how to do that.
Yeah, so what we're doing right now is implementing stuff that should not be there. She has a fundamental issue with the way she thinks. If she thinks she got authority over or any of that. I'm talking about general American household. That shit ain't going down in my house. If you say anything, that's why you better be very careful about the way you complain to certain men. I am solution oriented. Do not say need help with children if you don't want an in-law moving in.
The children, yeah.
Don't say no stuff like that to me. I will change this life. Like, I am actually very amenable to the needs of my family. So if you give me a problem, guess what? A solution is gonna come, and I ain't asking. It's just gonna be here. My mama gonna be here with a suitcase. My daddy gonna be upset while he in Africa working. Like, where's your mommy? I need her. She's here because my wife, like, you, not my family. I know what I'm saying, but do not put problems out there if you don't want that type of solution, especially from cultural backgrounds. And we keep talking about these pussified American dudes that just keep acquiescing to what they woman wants. Like, well, you know, she said the nanny, she think I'm gonna smash the nanny, so we don't need a nanny. Well, get the nanny any goddamn way and let her show up at the house and let her clean the whole goddamn house. And when she said, what this woman doing here? Don't complain if you don't want to fix.
But see, all this does is go back to your initial point of knowing who to go to with what problem. And when to vent to which people. If it's venting, vent to your girls, whatever. But if it really is a problem, because you know your man is going to
I don't think wives, and to your other point, I don't think wives should be concerned about control. That is the demonic.
I agree.
Relinquish control. Surrendering and submission is about relinquishing control to your husband. If she has a control issue, that needs to be stomped out outright. Period. Like,
I agree.
That word, yeah.
With indoctrination today, women and the feminist movement makes women think that they have to have control. So this is why I said, in order to
but do you see how counterproductive it is? So you're absolutely right. It tells women they need to have control while complaining about men that don't take control.
Yeah,
it is the weirdest. It is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. All they do on here is like, well, men need to take control. While they're actively standing in the way and using the government to control the man. Like, it's the weirdest shit I've ever seen.
I think it's mostly when they say that, I know what you're saying. They want, because I've said it many times, what they want is the power and respect of a man, but they don't want to have to put in the work or the sacrifice it takes to actually hold and control that power. They want to be able to wield a sword that they're not ready to do battle with.
Yeah.
But that's why
let me tell you something. I've been quiet for a while. I hear what you're saying, and I see what the problem is. I've been told by my wife several times that I could become off evil. Let me explain why she said that. Whenever my wife want to take control of anything, I have a saying. I will give you more than enough rope to hang yourself.
I said that
to my wife. God damn.
So what I normally do is I've been battle tested for many years. No, I'm beyond cold-blooded. I let her take control, and I keep a cool, calm, and collected demeanor. When she go haywire and she gets stressed out, and I make no facial expression, in my head, I'm laughing and jumping, doing backflips. Yes, enjoy the pain. Here's my thing to women: beware of guys like me who are mostly quiet, calm, and collected, will allow you to run your mouth while you don't say nothing. Because what you're going to do, you allow that stress to go high enough. When you go on med, you go AWOL. When that time comes, you ask the Lord, can I drop her off? And you say, yes, I am dropping you. I don't have the time nor the patience to go back and forth with women over control, over who to be the leader. I don't got time for women who never experienced a real man want to tell me how the man's supposed to be. What I would do, you're not going to believe this. Guys like me who are nerdy as hell understand the mind games to the point of, if I want you, I can allow you to take yourself to the madhouse and have no evidence on it. Without me even doing that, I'm just going to watch you break yourself down. I'll be calm and collected. When you complain about things and want me to help you want to have an attitude about it? Okay. All I know, I will do this. With me, signify I wash my hand off it. You go crazy, you lose your cool, you lose your temper, you wanna call me. Oh, they can't get out of hand. And you tell me you're gonna apply structure and order better than the guy? Go at it. Have
Okay.
fun while you break down and you think you're smarter than a man. This man believes bullshit. And
Well,
no
it
female
sounds.
is. Let me finish. I don't believe no female is smarter than man who is highly trained to understand structure and order. When you come off that way, I'm going to allow you to break your mental capacity to the point whereby if God allow me to replace you, I'm going to replace you. Period.
But it sounds like you
Can I go
understand
out?
manipulation
Can I go out to
tactics.
No,
Sparkle?
it's not manipulation. I allow you to hang yourself. I'm not
Okay.
manipulating anything. If I'm trying to help you, I'm trying to assist you, and I'm trying to make your life easier for you, and you feel like I'm modern, I can do what I want, I'm going to allow you to hang yourself. It's not manipulation. It's called go ahead.
All right, Sparkle, go ahead, and we're gonna start final thoughts with John the Baptist.
Well, yeah, I think firstly, thank you, fellas, because this tonight's topic has really got me thinking of some stuff, especially Paolo.
Tonight it's daytime over here.
Yeah, it's nighttime over here. It's almost 9 o'clock. So yeah, appreciate that. But yeah, I think from everything that's been said, it's very clear that once the expectations are laid out and there's clear instruction and clear communication, you're not likely to go wrong. But when people expect the other person to know what they're thinking or know what they want to do, this is where the issues are. If it's clear and it's across the board and everybody knows where they're expected to be, then if you have a problem, that's your problem. It's not our problem. You have to deal with it on your own. And I'm saying that about me as a woman, you know. If my husband's explained exactly what's expected, if I have an issue, that's my issue that I have to work out on my own. But if it's not been said, I'm expected to read your mind, then I need to be able to come to you with that. So I think when it comes to the 4 Ps, we women need to understand the mindset that you men have and what your approach is on stuff. So this is why these conversations are good, because to hear what you guys think isn't what you guys say a lot of the time. So to actually hear it from a very honest standpoint of this is what we think. So as Paolo said earlier, if you see us at home and we're just chilling, don't think our mind isn't calculating and strategizing. Don't think we're just on the Xbox or whatever, just because we're not actively running around the house doing stuff. Like, not a lot of men are open about that. Not a lot of men say stuff like that. Whereas women often will watch you. We're not, we're not in your head like that. So I do appreciate you guys just laying it out like that. It's important for us to know, in all honesty.
That's dope. It might be the only time any of us hear that in this month, but it's always refreshing when a woman is mature and honest enough to share with us, because they're cursing us out in the chat. I don't know if y'all I don't know if y'all noticed what it is. These men, but it's okay. It's okay. You know, I've long said that men need to stop saying that it's hard to find a good woman. There are so many women telling you they ain't shit in the chat, all over YouTube. They're telling you their mindset is fucked up. Listen to the way they answer these questions, and they talk about family, about raising the family, the purpose of a man in their life and their children's life. They're telling you every day that they're not suitable for anything, not to have a children with. In fact, if I could do life over again, I wouldn't even smash women like that. I would get a full psychological evaluation before before I even entered a woman. Okay, if I could do it all over again. But let me start with John the Baptist. Final thoughts. Let's keep it about under a minute.
I need to ask a question first before I do my
Yes,
final
sir.
thought. I've been trying to get a question into Sparkle. So Sparkle, the question I want to ask you is based on a comment you said earlier that because women are willing to relinquish the little power that they do have, men need to figure out a way to do what again?
Right. What I was saying is some women who perhaps struggle with submission, their men need to find a way to make them think that their ideas are their own in order to get it done. Because ultimately, you guys have your plan, your blueprint that you expect to be followed. But if you have a woman that's battling you on that, you need to find a way to make her think it's her idea. That way,
Okay.
the end result is what it's supposed to be.
I would like to
Okay.
say
Okay. No,
hell no
hold on, cause I got to get
to
to
the
my final
no,
thought.
no, no.
Oh, John is whining.
Okay.
He's making sure he got
Okay.
enough breath this time. He like,
Only reason I said that, John,
No.
to clear, is
Yeah,
because
let
as you
him
know,
go.
men and women speak very differently. So this is why I made that point.
Okay. I need for y'all to listen. Okay. I'm gonna say this with as much care as possible. Um, Women, your mothers have failed you. Titus, in the book of Titus, it says women teach the younger women, and the older women are not teaching the younger women. It is not my job to work to. It's not my job to manipulate you into doing you something to make you think that my idea is your idea. It is your mother's job to teach you and understand how a man should move, how a man thinks. It's your mother's job to teach you this. And the reason why I know society has failed because we say stuff like this and we think it sounds intelligent. We think that is good. What I'm saying to you in society is this: y'all can hate me whatever hate me whatever you want to do. Men younger men go to older men to find out how things should work. We understand as men that we don't know it all. So we talk to men who are older than us who show us this is how the world was created. This is why we do this. This is why we do this. And so when we walk away, we have an understanding with our experience and what this senior person has taught us. Women have this thing now that we don't want to talk to our mothers. We don't want to we don't want them else to move in with us, show us how it's supposed to be done. If that's the case, I don't know. There's no hope for you. If we can get help, you can get help, and that's it.
all right, JT, final thoughts, bro.
Yeah. Final thoughts. Final thoughts. I would just say if we want that family plan and household to work like you guys said, which and I do believe it works. I agree 100% with y'all as far as that's how it's supposed to be. But if we're just listening to the statistics, reading the statistics, it's gonna be hard to have that type of household when most men are making $58,000 a year. So, we gotta, as us as men, we gotta figure out better ways to produce incomes because a lot of other communities that are able to leverage the money that they made off of their first jobs or their hard working jobs, leverage that money into making more money and having more time. And as far as the women in the community, the women, I agree with everything John the Baptist just said. I wouldn't even have to add too much to it. Women just need to find find a good leader, man and woman leader, not just women, not just man, but a good man and woman leader to teach them the ways and help them be a better helpmate to their husband. We have this problem where it's like women are fighting for control. They want the power, they want the control, they want to be able to make all the decisions, but they don't want the responsibility that comes with it, and they don't know how to do it the right way. So what they end up doing is sabotaging a lot of their families and a lot of the situations they have going on as far as with good men, good husbands. We're seeing it all the time now. Women in their late 40s and 50s talking about they divorcing their husband because they're just not happy anymore. And if you're gonna sign up for marriage, if you're gonna sign up for a family, your happiness goes to the back of the line. Family first, kids first, husband, wife. So the happiness is it's over with. You have to make yourself happy at that point. It's over with for doing all of that when you're trying to raise a family. If you trust in the man that you married or you trust in the man that you had kids with, you would submit, relinquish control, and let that man lead and do his job in raising his kids however he sees fit. even if you don't think that it's a good way, because that was your decision to marry the man. So if you can trust the marriage, if you could trust definitely have kids with him, then you should be able to trust his provision, his protection, and all the other P's.
So there is one thing I'm hung up on from your final thoughts, JT. 58 grand is not enough for who? Like
50.
culturally speaking, listen. Culturally speaking, bro, where you say leverage your income, that is enough income to leverage. I have no idea what y'all think people make that whether it's 100. The people coming in this country right now, give them 58K with 2 kids. Give them kids and see what they can do with it.
That's what I was saying. We as black men need to learn how to leverage that 58K. That's what I was saying. I agree with everything you just said. 58K is definitely enough. I'm just saying we need to learn how to leverage.
So let me be honest, bro. Let me be honest. Black men, this is just a fallacy. We're always looking in the direction of Pookie and Ray Ray, and we let them, their example, whatever the hell they're doing, define the black men are more than competent. Families figure out the way to leverage things for a better life for their children. These families are intact. Therefore, they're to get work. They're working to find ways to leverage for their children. Did I not tell you the average black family has a better income, especially if they do better than their white counterparts? So that's why I'm like, they know how to leverage it. They're going to leverage it. They have homes. They got all that stuff when they are married. That's why I said the first line of defense, the first thing we need to do is get them in the house together. That's it. Get them in the house. Because, yeah, go ahead.
Because it's a larger part of our community that's speaking the loudest. So yeah, I definitely agree with you on. I know a lot of men who make more than that, and I know a lot of men who take care of their family and do a damn good job at it. But it's a very large portion of us that don't know what to do and are totally lost.
And I will say this too. Yeah, go ahead. Finish up. Sorry.
No, that's what I was speaking to.
Yeah, and I was gonna say
Also,
people of every race. There are people of every race that's good with money, but if we want to be really clear about it, Americans are terrible with money. The average American does not have $400 saved in their savings account. All right. Also, and that's every race across every single race. So what's really the American way is the more money you don't need to make more money, because the more money you make, the more money you spend. The average six-figure earner still lives paycheck to paycheck. All right. I got homies right now. I got people in the neighborhood. I know what my homie does. We work for the same company. Across the street, he has an $88,000 Land Rover Defender. What are you doing? You make $130K a year. Why do you have an $88,000 car? His mortgage is $3,000 a month. Like the more they make, the more they spend. So they just need
social media too.
Oh, it's weird.
I don't care how much money. I don't care how much money you make. Get yourself a garden and learn how to can.
Yeah. That was
a
good tip. Good tip.
What?
That was random. I'm sorry.
No, I said that. I said that for a reason, but I didn't want to be long. But somebody catch on to it.
I clocked it.
I didn't even hear what you said. That's why I said you said what.
So we're going around the whole final thoughts or what?
Yeah, we are.
I'll be
Black
quiet.
David, go ahead. Final thoughts.
Yeah, this is Black David, aka.
Sorry, I let that one go on too long. I got to leave in 7 minutes.
I got
so under a minute for everybody.
Good night.
All right, Sparkle.
Black David.
Always a pleasure. Or good night, rather.
This is Black David, aka T-Bian, will say this. Yes, the mother failed you, but also the church failed the black man. Even though the mother did not hear, the church put the teeth down. You can stop with the pandering, you can stop with the BS, and keep to the opposite. Lady, it's not about your happiness. Happy don't say marriage. That's the problem. Another issue is this. It's about the income, this is about the income, that. I watch other ethnic groups who make less than what I'm making. But they use what they have and make it become bigger than what it is. Our job is we make the income, give it to the woman want to multiply. If the woman's not a multiplier, then there's a problem. This American society has taught you now, which you work with the first one, it's all about the Joneses. I'm sorry. No one live in Hollywood. No one can compete. You need to stop trying to live above the mean. It's the thing they have in our country. Cut your shirt according to your size. Too many people wear 2X trying to wear a 4X. Stop it. It's not all about you showing off. If you do that, you don't have no legacy. I want to show up for the gram. F the gram. F social media. I live in real life. My job is to build legacy. My job is not to make you or make myself look good on the ground. For what? So I can be broke at the end of the day? Like, are you freaking kidding me? When I hear these arguments, I hear these conversations, first thing that comes to my mind is America has to be more the dumbest country on the planet when people go broke. They try to show off on freaking social media and one of their family collapse. If anything, just like the movie High High, I could give Baby Powder a slap all you guys.
Oh,
Stop
Baby
it. Let
Powder.
people realize. I'm just saying it.
All right,
Get to the basic. Build your home from ground up and stop the BS.
I'll be real quick, man.
Go ahead, King Spark.
First of all, just because you have a job don't make you no man.
That's
all
facts.
right. Period, point blank. So we really should stop all these talking points. Should the man listen to the woman, and should the woman listen to the man, and we are not equal. We ain't equal. Just get over that shit. We're not equal. Okay? Y'all not battle tested. We love y'all. We need y'all and all that good stuff. But we are not equal. My mic is muted.
Yeah, one real quick. I'm gonna be real quick. Listen, I don't know why we have so much trouble with both people in a relationship working. I mean, everybody else is doing it.
Everybody does it.
Yeah, everybody does it, and so the expectations are broken. And I'm not even gonna blame it on one side or the other. Listen, if you're gonna have your wife work and you're gonna work, you gotta change what's traditional roles in a household, except one. As a man, you have to stand on your leadership square, no matter what. I don't care how, whatever else you take out the garbage, she wash the dishes, you both wash your own clothes, whatever the hell that shit is. But there's only one square you need to stand on, and that's your leadership square. Because if you don't have a marriage, because your wife is going to end up disrespecting you. So other than that, everything else is kind of a negotiation, except that one. That's to me. Now, I didn't have to really go through that, but all the 50-50 guys, not 50-50, all the people who have their wives working and you're working, you cannot come home and just expect her to do everything and you just chill. Really chill, not chill and think about the future. I'm talking about chill and playing Fortnite and shit, and she's doing all other stuff. So you got to be able to do all that stuff. If you want to be a leader, you got to act like a leader. But a lot of that stuff you should have worked out before you get married. That's the courting phase, the vetting phase. That so that's all I have there. So it shouldn't be that complicated because everybody does that. Unless you could have enough money to pay for it yourself. And you still need to be a little bit smarter and strategic. Anyway, okay, go ahead, Paolo.
I'll make it quick. Again, Mike, thank you for allowing me to be part of the panel. I've seen a couple of comments come through of Cap and whatnot. I'll tell you this: I'm an immigrant, 29-year-old who has been with my wife for 7 years with 2 children. I have ran from immigration for half the time that I've been here. So if I have the same talking points that Mike and a lot of these men who are husbands speaking on things like 5 years is a good long enough time for a man to figure out his financial standing and how he should cater to his family. It is possible. I wasn't going to say it was going to be easy. Our cost of living here in New Zealand is comparable to the United States when compared to our wages. So stop with the excuses and build your family in the manner that allows you to be the leader that you should be. I'm not going to take too much of your time, Mike. I know it's very important that you get away from here. So I'll finish with that. Again, thank you.
No doubt, bro. Appreciate you. EBD, take us out. Final thoughts.
Yeah. I'm going to keep this real short. All I need for everyone to walk away with is that when we talk about protection and provision from men, it is about high time that we have during raising of our children and our teenagers into their young adulthood. They need to be consistently reminded just how much protection men offer, whether it be their fathers, their uncles, what have you. It is about the things that could happen that consistently do not happen. It is about it is about the fact that when you need help, if you're a woman or a man, you should be able to depend on a man who should be able to step up and be there for you consistently throughout your life. And if we don't get back to these things, then everything's just going to lead to chaos, because you're not going to be able to run behind some woman who's got the plan. It's going to be the man 10 times out of 10. So we just need to focus on our purpose, and I think we'll be just fine.
All right. I appreciate the panel.
Check the bad chat, Mike.
All right.
I need to curse somebody out?
Nah. I just wanted to just put that thought in your head. Just put that thought in your head. That's all.
All right. Appreciate that, man. Y'all, thanks for y'all for coming up today. Excellent topic, man. We finished out the 4 P's: protection, provision, procreation, and problem solving. Hope y'all got a lot from that. Let me know anything in the chat. I love to provide spaces for people to just intellectually stretch. All right. We need this type of order. I know y'all think it's chaos, but I guarantee you the stuff that you hear on the Trigger Mike show, you're going to go ask somebody else. You're going to ponder on it yourself. You're going to think and let that sit on your brain. All right. So you're taking this advice from all type of people from all walks of life: married people, single people, people with children. Everybody's opinion is valid on the Trigger Mike show. Never be afraid to come up. We get a little heated at times, but I'll tell you, this is no different than any other family, any other ethnic group. We come up here, we battle with each other, we talk. We'll keep it respectful, right? Nobody really gets disrespected, but we'll come back the next day and do it all over again. All right. So I appreciate all the viewers for their patronage. I appreciate the panel for coming up and chatting with me. Everybody in the chat, thank you for the super chats. Oh, snap. I think I did get a few. Security Boss, how you doing? Salute to Trigger Mike Lapeef in the chat. Thank you for that. The Real Pookie loves when it's let's blame black women for everything hour. I'm going to blame them for something. I'm sorry. It's their time. It's their time in the sun. Big Ant said, just wanted to say what up. We appreciate the support. If you are a Lapeef Network fan, we got King Talk coming on tonight. I will be on that show as well. All-star panels on King Talk all the time. Let's get the numbers on King Talk back up, because y'all forget that that's most people's favorite show. Other than the Thursday show, the next show that I've heard that everybody say that's their favorite show is King Talk. So make sure you get on time, click the bell for notifications so you know when it's coming on tonight. Watch the King Talk show tonight. Also engage in the chat. We expect to see that from you. The topic is the harsh truth about women. That's going to be a good one. All right. Thank y'all for your patronage. I'm about to head out of here, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow, man. I'm out.